Hello everyone, welcome back to another tomato sauce stream. Today is going to be a bit of a yappy stream. I do want to play more speed. I don't really want to play rush right now. I think the majority of you will probably understand why. There's not a lot of incentive to play rush right now. The meta is not in a fantastically fun spot right now, but speed's looking pretty cool. And we have got new tools for the Dino deck, which is something I do really like, so I want to jump back on that train at some point. But I did want to talk about potential updates to Duel Links that will be coming after Worlds, because every time we have Worlds, we get some sort of World update announcement. Last year, we did have the DM World update, where we basically started getting like filler characters, which semi-well received. I think quite a lot of people really liked it, so there's that. Now, in my ideal, we would get a rush update, right? I think that goes without saying, you know, rush focus channel, rush focus player. I want rush. However, I'm not, I don't think we're going to get a rush update. You know, as much as I would love to say, oh, look at all the evidence that points towards getting rush. Realistically, it doesn't look great for rush, if we're being completely honest. I think we'll still get, like, updates, right? We'll probably get a nice like structure deck, maybe a nice box, but I think that's probably the most we're going to get. Maybe a new character around the corner. I think realistically it is going to probably be a speed focused world update. But before we do jump into all of that, let's have a little bit of a catch up. Let's say hello to everyone in the chat. We have Ninjago Zane, who was here first. I want everyone to know it. Hello Ninjago Zane. We have Sean in the chat. Hello, Sean. I hope Sean is still here, because I do like speaking to Sean. I don't get to see Sean that much. I think recently Sean has been streaming at, like, awful EU times. So I haven't been able to, like, drop in and say hello, which is a big shame. But it's one of those things that happens. Icy does the same thing, where Icy will just, like, stream at semi-random times, and then randomly there'll be one that's, like, good for an EU viewer, and I'll be like, I can watch this one. But hello. We have Islet in the chat. Hello, Islet. We haven't played Duel Links for a while. I haven't finished my alt style of Crow and the other guy gem mission. Yeah, the what is his name? Callan? The Infernity guy? I always forget what his name is. There's one Discord. I don't know what changed in Duel Links. Finally, I've waited for 20 years. I mean, you know what you signed up for. This is, I think, the third time, Ninjago Zane, that you've come in and, like, been like, when does stream start? And it's like, it always starts at the exact same time every time we stream. So I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. At a certain point, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting something to change. I think that's probably a you problem. Hello, Ursus. Welcome on in. Ursus has been tearing up Mono's OCG. OCG doesn't quite sound right. Rush OCG? Rush Physical? I think Rush OCG is what we went with. Tournaments, which have been going quite well. So I think, you know, hats off to you. Obviously, you've been playing a lot of the XYZ deck, which is a really cool deck. I really like it. Everyone know the meta isn't good. Well, the speed meta is actually looking pretty good at the moment. Again, I haven't played it, so this is all like secondhand information from the sidelines. I'm sat there cheering on my boys in their tournaments, but it's looking quite diverse. It's looking quite interesting. It's not. I'm not going to sit here and pretend it's like a perfect meta, but it's looking pretty good for the speed boys. Rush is in a weird spot, right? Because I keep mentioning this, but I don't think Worm is like an unfun deck. I think the deck is actually kind of cool. It's just too strong. It is too powerful, and it is too good at OTK. Like, when it comes to like Dark Galaxy, for example, I didn't like Dark Galaxy very much because it felt like Dark Galaxy had a lot of randomness to it, and then you get OTK'd. Worms has like the opposite problem, where there's not enough randomness to it. It's too consistent at just killing your opponent in a single turn. And then you also have the backup strat of the max, which is just annoying. So like, it's a weird situation where I don't actually hate the best deck. The best deck is just too good. It's kind of crazy like that. We have Mono in the chat. GIF in Twitch chat. Exactly. I'm in the GIF beta. Whatever that means. It basically is anyone that is a tier 2 or higher, so a tier 2 or a tier 3 sub, can now post GIFs in the chat, which is like... Alright, so one, obviously it's like a cash grab, right? Twitch wants people to get tier 2 and tier 3 subs because they cost more money. Twitch gets a bigger kickback on it because they get 50% of all revenue that comes into the channel. So there's that. On the flip side, like, do we really want to have massive gifs being spammed in the chat? Because in my mind, that's something that could get annoying very quickly. I don't know. It's a weird one. It's a weird situation to be in. New character. I mean, we absolutely could get a new character. We still have some that are data mined that we haven't gotten yet, so there could still be one around the corner. We have a human Portuguese dub fan in the chat as well. Deck build box when Konami love those. Also hi Tomato. I don't. At this point, I would kind of take anything, but obviously deck build is kind of the lower rung of what I actually want, right? We have Voltalon in the chat. Hello, Voltalon. OCG has definitely been fun. Yeah, I mean, I do kind of want to play in some more OCG events, but I think I have to be in the right like mindset for it. If I'm like not in like, if I haven't had like a great day, I'm never going to be like in the right mindset to play in that sort of event. So it's like, it depends on the situation, right? But I think that's going to be normal for like everyone. And then there's the issue of like, there's always like a deck I don't like, and I always end up playing against it. And it just that just like gets on my nerves. My patience is not good. Fair enough. We have Hunter in the chat. Rush Duel Links is dead. Worms killed it. Rest in peace. One single skill killed our game. I mean, the skill is just massively overtuned, right? It's massively overtuned. I can post to my own channel too. As long as you are in the beta, which like I think it's just random lottery. But if you are, then yeah, you can just post it in your own channel. Tell me what... Oh, what new in Duel Links? There we go. Right, what's new in Duel Links? I mean, not a bunch, if we're being honest. We haven't had a new product in a little while. We had the Snake Eye box, but that was even quite a long time ago. When did that come out? Let me have a look. When did the Snake Eye box come out? That would have been ages ago at this point, right? Like several weeks. I'm scrolling back through. It was genuinely so long ago. What the heck? Shadow Eyes. So it came out on July 27th. So it's been almost a month since we had a speed update as well, which is kind of crazy. That's kind of the latest thing we've had. The thing I don't like about Worms is the max more than anything. I get that. I do understand that. The max can be, like, frustrating. I still think the max is the least of the issues. Like, in my opinion, the big problem is that Build Dragoon just lets you do everything, right? All you need to do is basically get Build Dragoon out, have, like, any of the skill targets, and then you just have a way to do over 6,000 damage in one turn. And the only way to stop it is to have trap cards. Which I don't really like that type of gameplay personally, but you can't put GIF. So it's its own separate menu, Zane. It's not like you could just like post a GIF from like a URL. It has to be like one of their ones. So few strong traps affect both the fusion line and the maximums. Yeah, that is true. That is very true. Tomatoes worms are banned currently on monos. That's very funny. The Monarch worm. Oh, Lindorm? Is that his name? Doing research since I wanted to write a sort of viewer's guide for Rush World. It's been interesting to read everyone's accomplishments. I mean, I think that is interesting. It's one of those things as well, where, like, you, and I think it was you and Kiryu, Volt, did a, like, list of, like, quote-unquote official accomplishments, and that was, like, you know, how many times they've been to Worlds, how many silver icons they have, how many gold icons they have, and all of that. I really like seeing how players have done in local tournaments as well. So I think it's a really interesting, or it would be an interesting correlation to see if there is a correlation between doing well locally consistently versus going to Worlds. Because there kind of isn't. Like, when I think about the players that are still consistently performing well in tournaments out of the people going to Worlds, it's like Giorfio. Like, Parko doesn't really play in locals anymore. A lot of the other players are Asian, so they don't play in our tournaments. And then the ones that are Asian aren't playing in the Asian tournaments. So it's like, it's an interesting separation there. Did Duel Link release the new world? Not yet. So every year, Zane, we get a new world, or in case of last year, we got a world update that is announced at Worlds. And Worlds is in, what, a week and a half? A week and a bit? It's in like 9 days is when Worlds is. So we should get the announcement for the new world soon. That's where we're at right now. Tournaments for Duel Links with that skill band would be interesting. I would like to see if Worms can operate under a different skill, not the same build. The issue is that the other skills are really bad. I actually think if there was a way, like if you could, for example, if you could just ban the new fusion, but allow the skill, and that would allow the Worm deck to play differently, right? But then it would either just be like maximum turbo, or it would be the old Worms, which would be like the Build Dragoon into like Gantry into Build Dragoon into like Spiral, and then just go for that kind of line, which is like interesting because it's different, but I don't know how good it would be. And then if you wanted to play all the new stuff with a different skill, there is a different skill you could use, but that skill is just a lot worse, right? So it's like, it's a tricky one. It is a tricky one. What of our friends are going to Worlds? I mean, we can have a look, right? Since we're actually on this conversation topic right now, I'll hop over here. Let's have a look. So, we scroll down. So these are the people from TCG. Realistically, guys, these aren't for us. This is the Duel Links Speed. So we'll know some of these guys. Sniffus, obviously last year's World Championship. We have Tadashi, Paris, who everyone should know. He's quite active in the community. We have Ato. We have Shota. I don't know any of these guys' like handles by these names. So Eorspin, Galv. Everyone should know Galv. Norrentino is here. Everyone should know Norrentino. We've got Zenzo. You know, a bunch of people that, again, I'm not super familiar with. Viper's there. And then we have our Rush guys. So we have Yumahara-san, who did win last time. We have Giorfio. We have Parko. We have Shelmy. We have Sengreed, Yuku. This is Moki Moki. I don't know what this character is. If anyone does know who this other Japanese player is, like, by this character, let me know. There's a lot of factors to that, really, especially for JP players. There aren't many JP events nowadays, and the one that's still going isn't big enough to get into the Bismuth postal amount. Exactly. I mean, it's a bit of an awkward one, because the Now Cup also doesn't make it onto my spreadsheet, because I cut it off at 16 players. They better get us 20k gem. I mean, potentially. Hello, Icy. We'll do an exclamation mark. Icy in the chat. Welcome on in. We're just covering, you know, talk about worlds, talk about world updates. That's what we've started with today. We have Des Mume in the chat. Bruh, didn't even know your stream started. Hi. Hello, Des Mume. Welcome. I saw that in Master Duel. A war criminal Zenzo. Why is Zenzo a war criminal? What's brought this on? Oh my god, Norrentino is the banned guy from DLN. Is Norrentino banned? That's very funny. Naku. I don't know who Naku is. I don't know if Naku is someone that I should know, or if he is like kind of an unknown that's made his way in. Parko, Giorfio, and Shelmy. Related to my research, Yuku is credited for having won the last video game world championship on the Nintendo DS. What does that mean? Like, I just... what does that even mean? But I guess we'll talk about this because it's already here, right? It's interesting to see the players that are here, right? In terms of Rush, the only players that have gone all 3 years are Giorfio and Parko. So these are the only two, like, consistent players. Now, obviously, last year we had Quantum went twice, and this year we have Yumahara-san, but they got invited back. So I don't know if you should really count that. But Quantum did almost qualify anyway. Like, he was doing really well during the qualifiers. What if he's a Kamen Rider actor? I mean, he absolutely could be. Did he win a tournament from the DS games? You can search Jonghwan Lee on the Yu-Gi-Oh fandom wiki. All right, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna search it on my other monitor though first. Right, let's bring this over. So we have Jong-Hwan Lee, also known as Yuku, is a South Korean player who's been very successful in virtual Yu-Gi-Oh formats. In 2011, he won the last ever from Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship 2011. Which has just brought us all the way down here because reasons. Jong-Hwan Lee? Yeah, so he played Dragoonity. Now, is this just going to take me to the Dragoonity page? Yeah, that's not helpful at all. I want to see what deck he played. This is up here somewhere. Which doesn't look like it is. But yeah, he played alongside all of these guys, who I don't recognize any of these names. But yeah, he played Dragoonity against Chaos Light Sworn, Anti-Meta. Anti-Meta, the best deck. So this was TCG OCG, and then they just did video game at the bottom here, which got like no information at all. Nintendo DS, since then he's also competed in 2 Duel Links World Championships, including a 2nd place finish in 2023. So he actually played in the, like for speed, I'm guessing. Whoa, why is it like jumping around like that? Japan, Asia, there he is. Yuku. Unfortunately, we don't get to see what he was actually playing. But he was, I assume he was one of these. I guess he got 2nd place. And he lost to, what country is this? To the Russian player Takagi. And then they did an end of service in Russia because they couldn't let Takagi win ever again. Joffrey and Parko are truly the god. Imagine OCG Rush for them. It's one of those things, though, where I don't know if the same skills necessarily translate from Duel Links to other formats. Because Duel Links is like, it's a grind session, right? It's... First off, the skill means that your games are going to feel very similar to each other, right? You're always going to sort of have access to the same tools most of the time. And it's more about finding the micro decisions and the differences in the cards that you draw are going to have sort of a higher impact because there's less variance when you play Rush in Duel Links compared to OCG. So, I don't know. I don't know if you put them in a... You're playing the game physically. You have to travel to your tournaments. You have to qualify at the local level to get to, like, regionals, to get to nationals, to go to worlds. And, like, each individual tournament performance has a much higher influence rather than grind for 72 hours. I'm not sure if the skill set translates one-to-one. Tomato going to be there 2027. If I'm honest, I like the idea of going to Worlds, and I like the idea of working at Worlds, but I don't think that's ever going to happen, because one, I'm a teeny tiny little baby streamer slash YouTuber, and I also post leak content, which Konami don't like. So for those 2 reasons combined, I don't think I would ever get to work there. But that would be like what I would do. If I could, I would like to go to hang out with people, and I would like to go and like commentate. That would be really, really fun for me personally. But there were tournaments on the DS game like Star Accelerator, for example. I guess Yuko won over the Nexus DS one. That would make sense. Well, it's looking by looking at the facts, Parko and Jorfio should lose again. As history repeats itself, can they break it? Fingers crossed. Yuku's decks are here. Never mind, he didn't share them. It does transfer the skills from Duel Links to EDO because I lose in both. Well, that's the thing, right? I think playing... It's not just playing on... like the format shift. There's a complete different dynamic on how fundamentally you qualify, right? If you lose a couple of games during a World Championship qualifier, right, WCQ, digitally, you just play again, right? As long as you have the time to spare and you're good enough, you'll win back those games. If you lose games physically, that is so much more detrimental, right? So there is a much higher, like, weighting on winning every single game versus you just want as much consistency as you can possibly get digitally. It's similar, but I don't think it's exactly the same, right? The fandom does have pages for all the competitors, which was cool to read. I could even ego surf. Nice, that is always good to see. They're on the Wikia, but we didn't have them on DLM Elite. That's a shame. That is a shame. That sounds like it would be... Hello, Brad, by the way. Hello, Brad. Yeah, it sounds like it would be an awesome experience. Hopefully you get to do it one day. I am not going to hold my breath. Realistically, I just do not think it would be worth it. And to be fair, the commentators that they do have at Worlds themselves, they're fantastic. I actually feel a little bit sad because obviously, typically during the Worlds broadcasts, we have to share the stage, right? So it's one of the biggest annoyances is you never get to watch all of the games because they flip-flop, right? So I think Master Duel is usually held at a different time, but Speed and Rush, especially in 2025, were held at the same time. So they kept like going back and forth. Here's a Speed game, here's a Rush game, here's a Speed game. But while that was happening, other games were happening at the same time, so you didn't get to watch them all. So because obviously, you know, as the turbo nerds that we are that are super invested into Duel Links. Oh, we are in an ad break. Let me let this tick down. Three, two, one. All right, the ad breaks are gone. Sorry, I was yapping a little bit. But the issue is we didn't get to watch it because I wanted to like commentate it myself, right? So I think last year, I want to say I was on Grand Stream for the first day, and then I was on Icy stream for the second day. I think I was with Icy and Sean, I think. But it was a good time. But I do enjoy watching the actual world cast as well. It's just it doesn't cover everything I want to cover, right? I will go check with the new Duel Link myself. See you later. Thanks for stopping by, Zane. Tomato casting, welcome, Army, wake up. Didn't the Rush commentators suck last year? So, right, the thing is, right, the Rush commentators from 2024 very much felt like they were inexperienced. I think they did massively improve for 2025, because I think they got different Rush commentators. I remember specifically in 2024, I was a bit like, there's not like a ton of useful info coming out of this, but for 2025 I think they did massively improve. Now, that being said, right, we can't necessarily expect these people to live, eat and sleep Rush like we do, right? So like it's not like you're not necessarily going to get an A-star performance from everyone, but they were very professional, they were very, very good. I think realistically the quality of the casting was actually decently good last year. It's just, you know, I didn't get to see it live. I was instead doing my own commentary, right? So, just do your own world stream for Rush. It's one of those things, though, where, first off, I kind of like doing collab streams. It's not something I get to do very often. There's not usually a good reason to do them. And just, like, awkwardly being in a call with someone is sometimes just, like, with no, like, goal in mind, can be a bit dead airy, right? When Worlds is happening, there's always something going on. There's always something to talk about. There's always something interesting happening. So first off, you never get that kind of awkwardness. But on top of that, it's just fun to be chatting with other people. And one thing I don't like is the idea of a bunch of different streamers all fighting to be on top. Because in my mind, that splits the attention for you guys, right? Like, realistically, I think the best thing to do is get all the cool streamers in one place, have one mega stream, and just have everyone watch that. Because for me personally, I don't really care about, like, the monetary aspect. I don't really care about having a bunch of viewers. I don't really care about, like, running ads during it to get, like, a bunch of stuff. I don't really care about getting, like, flooded with subs or anything like that. I just like to hang out, right? That's what I want to do. So being on someone else's stream is completely fine for me. I can take the commentator's place, trust me. I believe in you, a human. I believe. I remember to include Rush Master Duel every 5 sentences. Exactly. Hello, Dwan. Welcome on in. Tomato Quantum co-stream for Rush would go crazy. Well, that's what I mean. I like hanging out. I think it was for 2024. It was a whole bunch of us. I want to say there was like 10 of us in a call for Grand Stream. And I think that was just a really, really good time, right? Tomato X Mono is my ideal cast for Worlds. Yeah, Mono isn't a huge fan of streaming with other people, so it doesn't work out great for him. But it is what it is, right? Unless it's rare. Yeah, I think the thing with Worlds is it's a commitment, right? Streaming for Worlds, you're doing like 8+ hour days, which is a lot, right? I will make sure to loudly call yellow button every time a skill activates. Tomato, just invite us all to your house. Yeah, we'll get everyone in. We'll have a watch party. It'll be great. True, true. It's unfortunate this year's streams are all bad times for UK. 1 a.m. start. I mean, the thing is, I will probably try and make time anyway, right? Because it's Worlds. Like, I wanna be there. It's fun. It's a good time. But I am an old man. I don't know how my body is gonna take that. It might not be great. But yeah, it is a shame. It is a shame that it's starting at that time. But again, it's gonna be ideal for Japanese time, right? So I guess it is what it is. Why is it starting at 1 a.m. by the way? Because Japanese time, 1 a.m. for me is gonna be. I guess that makes sense because that'll be like kind of middle of the day for Japan. I think Japan at like their evening is my midday. So like their morning will be early morning, like their like midday / like morning will be like my very, very early hours of the morning for me. It starts at 2 a.m. for me, so I'll probably try to wake up at 4. That's probably a good shout, to be honest. 9 a.m. JST is 1 a.m. UK. That is so rough. That's so rough. Actually decent for us though. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad for the Americans. I relate. I'm 2 hours ahead of the UK. It's rough. It's always rough for the UK, unfortunately, or for EU. That's nice. Finals is 1 p.m., which is 5 a.m. UK. Ugh. I mean, it is what it is, right? It is what it is, unfortunately. It is what it is. But, like, nothing's been, like, said. But then again, it's never, like, planned ahead of time. If one of the other streamers does want to, like, do, like, a... You know, if someone wants to get together and cast Worlds, I will probably tag on someone else's. If, for whatever reason, no one else is doing that, I will probably do my own stream. But I don't want to, like... I don't want to try and stream over someone. If there's someone else streaming, I'll just hang out in their chat. That's fine for me as well. I know Gran said he got the time off. Yeah, I mean, I might just hang out in Gran's chat, to be honest. I was talking to my sister this week. She mentioned the morning, and I thought she was talking about the morning as she had. I forgot I am 7 hours ahead of her. It was morning for her. Oh, no. For Worlds. The true question is, will we get product for Rush Duel Links on Worlds? Didn't we get a Structure, E-Hero, and Light Galaxy last time? No. Last time. Let's have a look. We have the technology. We can go back and have a look. So 2025. So Worlds 2025 started on the 29th of the 8th. And it went for 3 days, so it would have finished on like the 31st or something, right? We got these products after Worlds. So 4 days before Worlds, we got Extreme Overlord. And then, you know, almost 3 weeks after Worlds, we got High Dragons of Solid Strike as a deck build. Hello, Hidden Barnkai. Welcome on in. I'll possibly miss like 2 rounds of Swiss. That's not ideal, but you know, what can we do, right? When needs must. A Worm Structure for sure, imagine. Take a nap, problem solved. Hello, Bismuth. Welcome. And hello, Quantum Cubes. We'll do our exclamation mark Quantum, which, again, we don't get to throw out too often, so I always like to throw out the Quantum Cubes. Because it still says he's the Rush Duel World Champion. Oh yeah, that's what we need. Last time we got Music Princess and a V-Friend during Worlds. Did we get Music Princess during Worlds? We had... Extreme Overlord was just before Worlds, right? I mean, we can look this up, right? We have the technology. So it was Extreme Overlord. Bam. So this is what we got. We got... Oh, yes, this was the Divine Breath box. I knew this was the V-Friend box, and I knew this was the Supreme one. I didn't remember this was the Divine Breath one. And this was the Music Princess one. Music Princess's Battle Ballet. I guess this was all the first wave. Well, no, this was the Fusion wave, right? I'm trying to remember how this went. Was this the first? Yeah, this was the first print. Yeah, this was just the Music Princess box down. And then everything else in here was extraordinarily mid. You guys remember Dragonic Geist? All the stuff this card did? I mean, I guess, like... This card was funny for a bit, but it never really accomplished much, did it? There's no world where I start watching at 2 a.m. E-Hero Light Galaxy was 2024. Yes, absolutely. If they want, they could release Darkness cards. They absolutely could. I don't know if they will, but they absolutely could. Worlds 2024, we had the Sidra Structure deck and Speed main box with Lyrilisk and Dogmatica release. I don't want to think about Lyrilisk. I hate that deck so much. So much. And obviously, Go Rush announcement was announced there. Don't remind me of the cope about Overlord, because I didn't know what I was thinking. That's why I didn't buy it. I was at Worlds when it came out. I mean, that's fair enough. You can still go back and get it if you want it, though. I mean, I don't know necessarily if you would want it, but it's there. I mean, Music Princess is like... Obviously, we're in like heavy worm meta, but Music Princess before this meta, and even during this meta, was like putting up numbers. Not like crazy numbers, but it's like it's playable at the moment. For sure. This was all but Turbadish, or Tubadish. The box was mid first weeks, I think. Music Princess was here after. Well, Music Princess, I think, came out here, and it was, like, okay, if I remember correctly. I think it was, like, fine. Like, it wasn't great. Let's have a look. We can go back and find it. Extreme Overlord. Yeah, so it was here. So it was 18.2%. It had 30 points total. It was third best deck behind E-Hero and Seven's Road. Now, that's not bad, right, for its initial release. And then after that, when we got the update, because even here it started to fall off, right? And then I think this is where we got the Tubadish, and then this became the meta. From downtown, from literally out of nowhere, Jointech enters the fray. And it was like, okay, 2-deck meta, let's go. I remember thinking Beasteam before it released would be really good. Phaser for Worlds. I would like Phaser for Worlds. I think there's a lot of reasons why Phaser and a Go Rush time skip really makes sense for Worlds. But I think there are two big reasons we're not going to get that. And one of them starts in R and ends in Ovian. And the other one starts with an L and ends in Oog. So it's like, yeah, Music Princess became really good after they got Tubadish. Cope, to be honest, Tubadish was the best card in that deck. It was. Tubadish is amazing on its own, right? Let alone the fact it has a fusion slapped to it called Action Melody, which is actually just insane. Like, Action Melody is crazy good. Music Princess feels like it's due a deck build with non-over-rush rare reprints anytime now. Yeah, I mean, I could just slap it onto whatever, right? It was too slow when it came out. I mean, it was still playable, though. Still third best deck in a 4-deck meta. So, like, it was still doing okay. Tremolo, Phaser, Double, Unlock for short, Lug, and Rovian. No one cares. You know, you might say no one cares, but that doesn't mean it's still going to come out, right? Yeah. But is that Shelmy I see? We were actually just looking at your beautiful face, Shelmy. As we were talking about Worlds just now. But hello, Shelmy. Welcome. I want Rovian. You're probably one of, like, the only 4 people in the world that actually wants Rovian, like, really badly. A world will be triple character unlocks, double boxes, single structure deck, as foreseen in Zorak's dream. Zorak, the Monarch, the Prophet. I don't care. No one does. It's one of those, just, like... It's a very awkward situation, because obviously we want a bunch of cool shit. But it's like, are we actually going to get any of this cool shit? Because, like... The reason I wanted to talk about the world update, first and foremost, was that there were a couple videos that came out. So this was Icy's video. So this was my prediction. Don't want to do that. My prediction for the upcoming world. It makes so much sense. I'll go ahead and chuck this in chat in case anyone is interested in watching it, because you should check out Icy's stuff, because his content is really, really good. So this was basically Icy, and this came out 6 days ago, talking about potential updates. And as you can see on here, Icy thinks the most likely thing we're going to get is a Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Season 3, which is going to cover... all of, like, the Dark World characters, I guess, all of the cards that the characters were using, because we do even have a bunch of, like, evil hero cards, I believe, that came out that are not yet in Duel Links, so that, like, kind of one-to-one works for that. And then 4 days ago, Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, so Dylan, also did his video talking about what he thinks the next sets are going to be, or, like, what the world update could be. And unfortunately, no one here talked about anything Rush, which is so sad, because I think everyone knows. Everyone knows we're not getting a Rush update. But I want a Rush update really bad. So I'm just like, Ritual? The thing is, alright, I'll post this in chat as well, in case anyone wants to see this, because I think it's important to support everyone when we are talking about their videos. But Ritual... Right. There is a non-0% chance that rituals come out. I think there is a chance we get rituals. The question is, would they just haphazardly toss them in with like no story update, no world update? They're just going to be like, and rituals. Because they could do that. They absolutely could. But it does feel a bit weird. And then obviously there's the power scaling problem as well. Because like, I was thinking about this earlier. Ritual decks. Let's go make a somewhere we can start typing some stuff. Right, let's go here. So ritual decks, right? Oh, if I can spell ritual, that would help. What ritual decks could we get, right? Let's talk about like the weakest ritual decks to the strongest ritual decks, right? So the weakest ritual decks, probably Hungry Burger is going to be on here. What else is going to be on here? Like really bad ritual decks that have done like literally nothing. The Zera one, I don't think has done much of anything. So Zera the Mant, I think that deck's really bad. Fortress Whale, I think Fortress Whale is not like giga ass, but it's definitely one of the worst ones. I think Grace Princess hasn't like done pretty much anything. Moonforce, what has Moonforce done? Has Moonforce done anything yet? I guess around here would be probably Fortress Whale. Then Blaze Fiend, which again we still don't even have the maximums for this deck yet. Then probably BLS, the Legend deck, or I don't know if it's gonna be called the Legendary deck. Then probably like Fiend Mirror, Mad Fiend. Where does Mad Fiend go? And do we actually count Mad Fiend as a ritual deck? Warline? Warline is actually quite good, which is the issue with Warline. It's not like a crazy powerful deck, but it has seen some pretty good tournament results. So it's like, it's up there. Magician of Chaos. Magician of Chaos is a really good deck. So that, I'll put this on, but I think I'm going to put it like down here, because I do think this deck is actually one of the better decks. Udious Ritual summons Hungry Burger, immediately skips to the season finale. That would be really, really funny. Mad Fiend, I became a Fiend Mirror lover. BLS is not good. So the BLS as like a standalone deck is not really a thing. It's just not very great. I think the most success BLS has had is when you just kind of mix it with other stuff. Magician of Chaos will be first. You might think it's broken, but remember it's key. The difference is, this is like a deck that right now is really good. So it would be more like the fairer comparison would be comparing it to Gradius on release. I think that is a better comparison, because Gradius when it came out was still a good deck in OCG. So you could say we could get Democ release, and then they could get a skill that's similar to the Gradius skill. It's not a real skill. It just like throws maybe Democ in the extra or something, right? Which is fine, but this deck would still have a lot of potential to be really, really good. The issue is the support cards at this stage are really good. Like, if we got all of the, like, the Griffor, if we got the Winged Dragon Guide of the Fortress, if we got the Beaver Warrior, if we got, like, all of those cards, this deck could be really, really good. Yeah, and Gradius did nothing until GRF. That's not really true, though. The deck kept doing well. It just wasn't played very much. Like, it got wins because only one person would take it to each tournament. The first week it was doing quite badly, but after that it actually started doing quite well. It's going to be trash because they're missing like 50% of the cards. I mean, it depends, right? If they literally do, like, just take out half the cards, yeah, they could make it, like, bad. But then the question becomes, how do you, like, consistently put these decks out? There aren't that many ritual decks to come out. If, let's say you want to keep these, like, churning. You want to keep having them come out. It's like, well, now you need... You're gonna run out of them, or you're gonna have to keep releasing them in, like, halves. The name of the monster is Sudden Rush. Won't every ritual skill just get a ritual spell? Well, that's if they give them skills at all, right? They might give them non-skills, like Radius, right? I do it separately, not by itself, I would not know. How about Healthy? They are new. Well, Healthy isn't a... Wait, the Healthy is a ritual deck, right? I'm not going to lie. I haven't looked at the Healthy cards in a while. Honestly, the power level of Duel Links is not even that far off of OCG right now. You're not wrong, but I think a lot of that power is from the skills. So then it comes down to, like, are we just taking skills away from these decks? I don't know, it just seems very boring to me. Go-Go Ninja simultaneous release. Go-Go Ninja's looks kind of weak, so maybe. You're telling me Magician of Chaos with no skills can survive Wormtone 2? Bro, we get 4 boxes a year. Don't worry about the number of boxes, okay? We'll get more boxes. Just trust. Ask Konami HQ more reprints. Run out of them. Duel Link's going to be end of service before even reaching like half the decks because of stalling. Yeah, it's an awkward situation that we do find ourselves in. I think the next deck on here, by the way, would probably be... What was the... Plasmatic Model, that's the one. Plasmatic Model. Is there anything between Plasmatic Model and Democ? Probably not. So I don't know, maybe this could like go like here. Probably here would be like Spark Hearts. And then what, Necromade and Defiant Soul. This is probably how I would rate them. I mean, this might not be like 1-to-1, right? But this is probably how I would rate all of these. Make it bigger as well, so it's easier for you guys to see. But like, do we want these decks to come out and basically not have skills? Oh yeah, Monuments. Monuments is a weird deck. Monuments is very strange because I think the deck is better without the ritual. So like, with the ritual, it's probably around here, I would say. There's probably a decent chance that they do some simultaneous / higher, slightly early releases for the Dimension Linker stuff, depending on how that turns out. Exact same time frame as Imaginary Reactor was. Yeah, I think that does make sense, especially because Dimension Linker is... It's Duel Links, right? It's a Duel Links card. It's very obviously a reference to Duel Links. But that card, I believe, is coming out in October. Let me just double check this. And get it up on screen. I'm pretty sure it's October. Oh, well, that's not helpful. Yugipedia apparently is down at the moment. Or at least I have a bad gateway, which is not helpful to me. It's close to World Update 2. Yeah, October 10th. Imaginary Reactor was October 12th, so time frame would work out. I think that'd be cool. But, like, regardless if we get rituals, right? Regardless if we actually get these rituals, what is the World Update going to be, right? Because, like, again, we could just get a Rush update where they're just like, bam, here you go. Here's a bunch of ritual cards. Which would be cool. They don't need to have a world update to do that. But what would the actual world update be? Now, if you wanted to have a Rush world update, if it's not BLS or Democ, Rush is dead. Well, I hope that's not the case. Zexal World. What do you mean by that, Hidden Bankai? You just want more Zexal stuff? Beach World. Now, Beach World, that does actually hold some water. I think maybe Beach World could be the next big world, guys. Do they have a bunch of alt designs of 7s they could give? So, it's funny you mention that. Let's jump over here quick. So these are the unused character IDs compilation of character IDs from the past couple of months that have not yet been officially used. Characters mentioned in these voice lines have a placeholder ID and not included. There is no new information. So we said Don 1000. I mean, that's not particularly relevant to us right now. Yuga Goha at 718. We have the Luke Man at 721. Then we have Unknown 7's Duelist at 724. Obviously, you know it's a 7's Duelist because it's got a 7 in the front. Then 8, so this is Go Rush. Unknown NPC Standard Duelist. Or actually, is 9 Go Rush? If 9's Go Rush, what is 8? I have no idea. But 9, we have Unknown Go Rush Duelist, London Cassidy. So these are what we still have waiting. Beyond that, we also have alt styles. So the alt styles we still have not seen. My Valentine, Blue Gal, Blue Angel, the Yuga Man. Which I think everyone still kind of looked at the Yuga Man and went, that's weird. Especially because the Luke Man has the ID of a character. So these IDs are not marked as an alt style. Whereas the Yuga Man, specifically, is marked as an alt style. So it's interesting how that does work. 8 is dual world NPCs. Ah, I see. So did they just never imagine they were ever going to get up to 8 when they started initially implementing them? Miss Mutton World. Miss Mutton World. Would anyone actually be upset about a Miss Mutton world? I think a lot of people would be like, this is like an April Fool's world. But I think people would still like it. GX World update introducing Shadow Riders. They are not here yet. Yeah, I think that is a big one that we could get, and I think that was specifically mentioned in this video. Let me have a look, see if they're on it quick. Yeah, they were specifically mentioned in this one. So we talk about putting Tanya in the game. Because guys, would anyone say no to Tanya being put in? Would anyone say no to that? Tell me you don't want to play as Tanya. I'm pretty sure everyone wants this. Okay? Kaito alt style. DM characters in Rush, and they release a Black Chaos Ritual, Blue Eyes Fusion, and support Red Eyes Maximum. No, we can't do that yet, a human, because that's going to be Yu-Gi-Oh! 9. That's the new series they're going to put out. We have to wait until that comes out first. I mean, Lookman isn't like... Yuga Man is still Yuga. Yeah, at the same time, Lukeman has one duel, and his ace monster is the Star Dragon. Which, just for context... This is the Star Dragon. He's already in the game and he's an SR, but this is his ace from the show. So it's like what do you give him, right? It's not easy. Wait, we'll talk about this for now. All in on nostalgia bait. Holy Wonderland, Miss Button Universe, a Woolly Wonderland. Yes, I would. I want Camula. I mean, Camula's pretty good as well. I will now play your game. I hate her. She ruined Bastion. To be fair, I don't think Bastion was ruined by Tanya. I think Bastion was ruined by the writers of GX. To be fair. To be completely fair. Tanya getting in would mean the Tyler sisters don't from Arc 5. That would be a travesty since they both use Amazon S. Yeah, but Mai uses Amazon S. So, like... Does Mai not exclude both Tanya and the Tyler sisters? It's like, you know? You can give him the Dragius. But the Dragius is meant to be with the Lug, who is a character that we should be getting soon. So it's like, it's weird. It's weird. Simultaneous release Cope, that's why he's getting a character. That doesn't make sense. Since we have Joey, we cannot get Atticus. Exactly. That is exactly what that means. Why do you think Atticus isn't in the game yet? Why do you think that is? It's because he uses Red Eyes and we already have Joey. Amazon S World update, Night Shroud and Atticus are pretty important for GX. Then where are they? Where are they, Hunter? Where are they? I've had enough of the Shadow Riders after using them in TCG Speed, to be honest. To be fair... I don't think it's a good comparison to compare them to Speed Duel's physical. It's a completely different thing, and a lot of the... Especially after, like, the GX Academy box, which... actually, probably after this. After this box, I think everything for Speed Duel started going a bit downhill, which is a bit of a shame. But, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. My Tyler sisters and Tanya. Amazon S world-based. That would be pretty good. A bulge is bigger than his. Holy. Luke can play zero gears. But then why wouldn't you just give 0 gears to Luke, man? But, right, let's keep reading on from these, right? So the copy characters I don't think really mean much. So then we had this. This was something that Badge Data Mined, I believe. So this is... Let's just talk about the sevens of Rush. So sevens, Swirls, Otis, Princess G. Chances are, a lot of these are just like... I would assume these are just, like, probably NPCs or, like, characters from cutscenes more than anything else, but you never know. You never truly know. But then for Go Rush, Asuka Mitsuba, guess who we now have in the game? I'm just saying. Then Rovian, Yuna, Damamu, the Lug, Ranran, and Meowdestar. So, obviously, the big ones that we don't have yet are going to be Rovian and the Lug, right? These are the ones that we need to get these ones, really, before we'd, like, push forward with the story. Because Rovian is, like, the current antagonist of the current arc in terms of characters that they've released. So we want to get that out. And then Lug is the next one. Then after that, like, the floodgates open. Then it's Time Skip, it's Phaser, it's Tremolo, it's Kawaii Duel, it's Otus. It's all of that, right? So that's what we want to get to, right? I love them. We ran out of bosses. Tomato, that's why. Edo error update for Rush, and we get Drippy Udius and Ote Usu. I mean, could do. But the last thing we had was this, which was new character IDs. We had Jaden Ubel clone, and then a character that uses Chupataro's lines and a character that uses Terza's lines. So these are like characters that we still potentially could get, right? Who is Princess G? She is like Roman's mentor? Teacher? That ain't good plant support, mate. Roman's idol. There you go. But if we were to get Luke Man, right? If we were to get Luke Man, because it's in the leaks, so he's probably coming eventually. Luke Man features in an episode. And in that episode, which is episode 67, which, by the way, it's the funny number, it's the funny meme number. That's where the funny meme character is. In this episode, a bunch of characters do actually get different outfits, including Yuga. Because we get the Luke Man, we get the Yuga Man, but also every one of these characters gets their own different outfit. So, like, this is a massive long shot. This is the copest statement of all time. But imagine 7's world update, and just randomly all these characters get these as their alt styles. Could you imagine the uproar there would be if these were the character alt styles we got? Which I think would be really funny, right? I think that would be, like, imagine it's just like, oh, you just get, like, wedding dress Asana. That's now just the character you can now play as. Guitar teacher also, I see. Luke Man will make Dragius good again. Hello, J Strong. Fuck. That's about, hear me out. If we get Luke Man as a character, and then with just the helmet and the alt style, Gaku Ting alt style, I mean, potentially. But I just thought it was funny how they had this dress up episode, effectively, where they're all just wearing like these weird outfits, which also just so happens to be the episode that has the Luke Man and the Yuga Man in, who are in the data mines. Luke Man with the Dragius? Oh, do you want the Luke Man with the Dragius when you could get Peak? You could get the Luke. Let me get a picture of the Luke up. Unfortunately, the wiki is not having a good time right now. It's struggling. But while that's waiting, I want Card Captor Roman. I mean, it could happen. Just imagine we get this as the alt style. Just imagine that. I do not like Dragius, by the way. But do you like the Dragius? It's a completely different card. It's a vanilla. Here it is. Alright. If I get this up. This is the character we want. We want the Luke. Because first off, one of my emotes is the Luke's face. Where is it? There you go. It's the Luke, right? Second, tell me you don't want this as an alt style for the Luke. Like, I'm sorry. This is peak character design. Like, no matter what, you can't pretend this is not the best character. I want this. This is what I want. Now, man, I hate Dragius and all his counterparts. Oh, no. I don't know. I don't really like the high-techs, so I'm kind of like at the opposite end of the spectrum with you, J Strong. But regardless of all of that, if we do get a 7's world update, if we were to get specifically a 7's world update, the only way I could see that happening is if we got the Luke Man and the Yuga Man as like the faces of it, right? The Yuga Man obviously is an alt style for Yuga. The Luke Man maybe is his own character. They could also just convert him into an alt style. But then, like, what would the rest of it be? Because there aren't that many other characters left. Right? Like, the other characters we need from 7's that are, like, actual main characters is, like, maybe you want to throw the rest of the Goha siblings in. Okay, you could do that. And then it's, like, Swirls, if we want to have him as a separate character. Yuga Goha, who obviously is going to be a character at some point. I think that goes without saying. And he is obviously one of the Goha siblings as well. And then it's like, it's Otis. And then that's kind of it. Like, who else is there that you'd even bother putting in? Like, you're going to put, like, Tanzaki or whatever his name is in? Which we have a picture of him here. You're going to put this guy in as a playable character? I don't think anyone gives a shit. Are you going to put the pigeon guy in as a playable character? Especially when both of these guys' mains are already in the game, right? Are you going to put Caterpillar in as a playable character? I don't think anyone gives a shit about that either. The cuck chair jokes will be unreal. Exactly. We'll get the Roman, then the Yuka, and the Gakuto. As well as dragons and technology, my favorite shit. I mean, that's fair. I really like robots. I'm a big, like, machine archetype kind of guy. Goha Alien Alt Styles Peak World Update. Announced darts again this year, no rush. They have to put out darts eventually, right? It's so funny that they announced him a year ago and he's still not out. It's very amusing to me. But I don't know. I think like these would be cool alt styles. I think. I also think this is also criminally underrated. Look at how good Tiger looks here. Look at this like ninja outfit, and then obviously we got wedding dress Asana as well. They look peak. Like, and then I don't know what's going on with Gakuto here. It looks fine, I guess. Realistically, it's these ones. These three are like the best ones. These are the ones that I would like as alt styles personally. The chair the Lu can combine with any other character to use 2 skills, then just sit on him. It would make sense, right? I think it would work. I think mechanically it should just work like that. But what would make more sense to me, right? What would make more sense in terms of like doing a whole world update, obviously, would be a Go Rush world update. But we spoke about this at length already. I still think that we need Rovian, we need the Luke. Once we've got those characters, I think probably next year even, they could just do time skip, Go Rush World, here's Phaser, here's Tremolo, here's Yuna, here's, that guy if you want to do another Yuga because reasons, and then just bam, put all those characters in. I think that would be cool. That being said, are they actually going to do that? Ooh, who even knows? Who even knows? A Legion from Vanguard, basically, but with characters. I mean, I get what you're saying. Legion was a really weird mechanic, though. I didn't like Legion when it first aired, like the series, but I think a big part of that is because I don't like Kai, and they made Kai the main character, so it was like, So I've always had kind of a weird love-hate relationship with Legion. Sebastian can always be a character. Sebastian can, but do you think Sebastian is a character that you have to put a lot of emphasis on, or is he just one of those characters that will just come out and not have a lot of fanfare behind it, right? And you get 12k life points. Phaser and that guy as the front cover. Tomato, why do you have bad takes about Vanguard, Ben? It's because Kai is the worst character in Vanguard. I'm going to go on a tangent here quick. Toshiki Kai, is boring. His deck is boring. He is just like, I'm so cool for the sake of being cool. And that's his entire character. He is unlikable. I just don't like him whatsoever. He's just so mid. And then when they made him the front runner, because I liked Aichi. Aichi was like my man, right? And then when they took away the character I like and then forced the character I don't like into my face, I was like, I don't like this. Kai is like Playmaker from Vrains? Yeah, I don't like Playmaker from Vrains. I also don't like him. Kai was fine as antagonist. I agree with that. Hunter, I agree with that. The best version of Kai was Link Joker Kai. That was the best version of Kai. I'm just saying. That was his best arc in the entire show. Mind if I throw my hat into the ring? You can throw your hat into the ring if you want, King John. Do you then find Shion boring? I'm not going to lie. I don't know who Shion is off the top of my head. I'm Googling it. Shion, I assume from Vanguard? I'm not going to lie. I haven't watched much G. I haven't watched much G. So I don't really have an opinion on Shion. She had more aura in Legion. That's how I think as well. Kai becoming the front runner was a mistake, but we got Kai versus Geliard with blue flames. The blue flame guy I thought was also really cool. I really liked him. G was a mistake. I thought you were talking about the Kingdom Hearts character that ended up legitimately disappearing from existence. No idea who that is. You're going to have to... Are you talking about Kai from Kingdom Hearts? I don't know who Kai is from Kingdom Hearts. Tomato, we need that watch-along after Zexal. Gylard is trash. I like him. I liked him and I liked his deck. Like, he's not like main character material, but he was fine as like the character that he is. He fit the great as Shion. I'm not gonna lie. So I have played. Right, I was gonna talk about this later, so I'll bring this up now. Kingdom Hearts got a new trailer, right? We're not gonna like watch the whole thing right now, but Kingdom Hearts has a new trailer. I like Kingdom Hearts. I've played Kingdom Hearts 1, I've played Kingdom Hearts 2, and I've played Kingdom Hearts 3. I have not played any of the other games. When the trailer came out, I did go ahead and just buy all the games because they were like 70% off, because of course they have to shop to the trailer. So I can now go back and play through all of these Kingdom Hearts games. But there is so much like lore stuff that I just do not understand because I've only played those 3 games. And I have no idea. I just have no idea about it. Anyway, back to this. Kai from Cardfight Vanguard, got out his peak. French guy trying to play Liberators but cooler. Explains why you don't know of her. Can we just agree 10 in Link Joker is the best character in Vanguard? 10 in Link Joker? I don't know who that is. Oh, Ren. Ren is just good the whole way through, I'm not going to lie. I can't think of like a bad version of Ren. Her story happened in the game 356 over 2 days. Exactly. I haven't played that. So I really like Ren. I think Ren is a really cool character. But we're kind of derailing a little bit. Talking about what else we could get, right? We spoiled this a little bit. We're getting the Luke Man, but we haven't explored the manga from Rush. And this was like the big one. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's Luke Explosive Supremacy Legend. So Luke basically has his own manga where he's now the main character instead of Yuga, which is pretty cool. And even when you bought these manga, like books, you got Null Strike Dragon Zero Gears, Cloud Soul Dragon Gygeus, and Void Strike Dragon Zero Gygeus. So you could like slowly build the fusion by buying these manga novels, which I thought was really, really cool. And obviously in the manga, he plays these cards as well. He plays Burning Blaze Dragon, Ancient Arise Dragon, Clear Ice Dragon, Draco the Tiny made his appearance in here. But if we go further down, this is where he also plays the maximum. So Great Multi-Strike Dragon, Dragius Burst L. The middle piece and then the bright piece. He also, again, plays Mirageus. He plays Dragius. He plays Zero Geus. He plays, the fusion. He gets Zero Geus, Zero Gygeus. So it's like, I think you just take his cards and probably give them to the Luke Man, realistically. But the issue is, I don't think they could do like a Sevens manga world. I don't think it's like big enough to do that. So I think you would just like take almost like manga Luke and then paste him onto Luke Man. I think realistically that's what would happen. Link Joker Ren is peak. Bro is just trolling everyone. What do you mean? I mean, yeah. I mean, he's like I said, I like him all the entire time. Thank you for the follow, Margin Marine. Welcome. To be honest, out of all the games, Birth by Sleep and Days are the 2 Kingdom Hearts games you should play, as they are very important to the lore. So for me, we're gonna derail back to Kingdom Hearts very, very briefly. We'll get back to Yu-Gi-Oh in a second. But for me, Kingdom Hearts 1 was amazing when it came out. But going back and playing that game is actual pain. I think it starts really strong, and then right around the time you get to, like, the Tarzan world, the whole game becomes such a slog, and it's just like, I just want to get through this. Kingdom Hearts 2, I still think holds up as one of my favorite video games of all time. That game, like, start to finish is fantastic. I love all the characters in it. I love Roxas. I love Axel. I love, all of the guest characters. Even, like, the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff, I think, works really well in that, even though it really shouldn't. Auron being a guest character in that game as well, and he just being with Hades, that was like fantastic. That was amazing. Everything that happens at Hollow Bastion was incredible in that game. And then Kingdom Hearts 3, I think was a bit of I think it was a bit of a downward trend. I think Kingdom Hearts 3 had a lot of stuff in it I didn't like, and I was a bit like, can we just go back to Kingdom Hearts 2 where everything was really cool? But yeah, that's how I kind of look at Kingdom Hearts at the moment. I want to go back and play all the different games though. Let's try and catch up with the chat. Dragius Maximum Meta. Baby, could you imagine? We are always the hidden Cardfight Vanguard stream. But we're going to be doing an actual Cardfight Vanguard stream on Sunday. That is the plan for Sunday. Play by release order with Kingdom Hearts and then Birth by Sleep before 300. I am probably going to start off with Kingdom Hearts 1 and then go from there. And I will probably let my Discord server know when I do, so you guys could just direct me. Opinion about Kazuma. The Order, Birth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts Hearts 1, Chains of Memories, Day Kingdom, Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts 3. Chain of Memories also has Rechain of Memory Vision. Before we getting... Defreed was fine-ish. Great one thing. Okay, the Luke Man having manga cards would make sense. Hello, Pokemastery, and welcome, welcome. Yeah, I think that would work well for him personally. There's also another manga, which is Let's Do It Rush Duel. This is just like a one-off, and it's basically just sort of a more closer to the anime, so I don't think there's anything really to derive from this, but like they theoretically could like take stuff from this as well, right? To be honest, Season 1G was a peak in my opinion. Nothing made sense. We just ass pull as much plot holes as we created. I love how chat is now is just Cardfight Vanguard. What if the new world isn't this? Well, the new world is probably as both Icy and Dylan suggests, it is probably just going to be a GX world. Right? If you think about it, there is still a lot of GX stuff that hasn't come out yet. There are a lot of characters that we could just throw into that world very, very easily. There's a lot of cards that we can give those characters that we can just throw in very, very easily. On top of that, right now still airing in Japan is the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Remaster. Even though the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Remaster is ass, it still exists and is still airing. So they could have like a weird tie-in with that, right? Now, I don't know how many people actually give a shit about this. Because, like, I don't dislike GX. But I couldn't tell you I'd be excited for a Yu-Gi-Oh! GX World update. Like, who could they put in that would be actually exciting? At least with the DM, it was like, oh, you're going to get Noah, and you're going to get the Doma guys, and eventually Sartorius, not Sartorius, what was his name? Darts. You're going to get Darts eventually, someone in the future. Right? At least that's like got a bit of hype behind it. Like, are people really going to be excited for like Camula? Are people really going to be excited to play as like Bron, Mad King of Dark World? Are people going to be excited to like play some of like the Season 4 characters? So like, what? I can't remember what this guy's name was. Where is he? Like, this guy? Does anyone want to play as, like, these guys? Because they were, like, one, like, entity or whatever, right? Is everyone excited to play this guy? And also, you'd have to give them, like, made-up decks. Sort of like what we've done with the other characters who've come out from Doma and Noah, right? Like, you can't give them one-to-one their decks, so it's like we're just going to throw an archetype on them. Truman, Kagamaru. I mean, I really don't want Kagamaru. I'll tell you that right now. Bron, I was so pleased when they get the best BS to ZTB. Jack Kagemaru, I would play. I think Kagemaru is one of the worst villains in Yu-Gi-Oh! History. I don't know if that is, like, just my opinion. But, like... Clearworld is a real deck? I genuinely did not know that, Toti. Is it any good at all? A fun fact, it has been 1,514 days since our last GX character. We're way overdue for literally any crumb of GX content. Well, it'll happen eventually, right? It wouldn't surprise me if we... Again, I think it makes sense we're going to get a GX world. I want a Rush world, but I think it makes sense we're going to get this. Give me Camula? Yes, I want Camula. Hello, Edchov as well, by the way. Welcome, welcome. Sorry if I've missed anyone, by the way. There's a lot of chat going on. We can also literally play on the Darkness, so I can make Vampires meta again. I'm trying to think if there's any good Vampire support that's come out that you could do to make it good. I don't know, man. Fujiwara Maj. The thing is, Asuka uses the clear deck, which has got support. True Man, Fujiwara, the Darkness. Clear World is a real deck. Whoa, Meteor Dragon Turbo goes burr. I don't care his goals, bro. Of course not. Hell no. It's a stun deck. Oh, I see. Now we would get OCG Structures, Anime, and World. The thing is, I don't think that's likely to happen, Be on Parade. I would like it to happen. Because I think the OCG Structures manga, I haven't read all of it, but the bits I have read have actually been really, really good. And I have actually got it open here, because I want to talk about it at some point. Where is it? Here we go. The OCG Structures stuff. Which, like, this is a cool thing. But the issue I have with this is, as far as I know, the characters constantly just rotate between meta decks. Like, they'll just, like, the main character just will swap to, like, something else that's, like, new and meta. And I think he starts out playing, like, Phoenix Gearfried or something, like the bad version of it, like the Union version, I think. And then like eventually they're playing like Virtual World, and you know they go through and play like actual real decks, which I think is cool. I just don't know if this has the same kind of staying power. Hello Sheesh as well, and we already have Truman's cards in the game as anime exclusives. Well, there you go then. I mean, at least it's better than the hyper-competitive OCG stuff. Yeah, they have a counter and XVs. DM Rush World would be great just for some more characters. I would like that CZ. I just don't think it's likely, right? OCG structures is what I would want most, and these are unreleased still. Unreleased stuff. Structures as anime would be a banger. I think that would be, but I don't think we're going to get it as an anime. I think they almost like it as what it is. Because the thing is, all the characters in OCG structures, these are all the characters from... Is it a DS game? There's a game that has all of these as characters in it. And they're like the 4, like, lords or something. I can't remember. And then I think this guy's made up for this. But they're all from a game, and I think they like them being from that game. The best vampire support would be Camula's yellow button. That's all we need. That's all we need. Please, please, please. Vampires would be really good with an anime skill. Do we actually need a new world, or can they just give us gems and other rewards and call it a day? The thing is, Toti, we don't need one. We never need one, but they always give us one. Except last year where they got the DM world updates. They always have a massive update. So I think it makes sense that we would just start upgrading the current worlds we've got one at a time. Because realistically, they can just go through and do that if they want to, right? The hardest one is going to be probably Vrains, because like what else do you do in the Vrains world? There's not many characters in it. But yeah, they have themes they like. But yeah, my suggestion is that we get a Zale expansion a few years after Dawn 1000, so we can get some of the manga characters like in the usage number 29. I mean, that could be cool. I don't think that'd be a bad thing. Support for Amazon S with Tanya, Vampire, and Camula, Sacred Beast, Red Eyes, Archfiend, Crystal Beast, with Evil Jesse, Exodia maybe, you Bell, as the leaks in Burr. I think that makes the most sense. Realistically, that is like the logical conclusion to come to, based on all the evidence we've got. Realistically, we're probably getting a GX update, right? Oh god, he is like a human soul burner. He kind of is, right? Shadow Riders would make sense for GX World Update. Wouldn't OCG Structures World just be Archive Skills the world? Basically, yeah. Except they would no longer be Archive Skills because you'd attach them to these guys, right? 3DS. Yeah, there you go. Desmond Meadows. Yo, hello, Julius Caesar. Welcome, welcome. What's up? I mean, we're doing a big yap. We're doing a big yap right now. Yeah, 3DS Psycho Card Battle. I have actually played it. It was a really cool game. Because it was a game where you couldn't, like, build your own deck, at least not at the start. You had to, like, use rental decks. And you would unlock different rental decks as you went through, so you're always playing, like, a weird archetype. And I thought that was really, really cool. Carnival version. OCG Structures, the characters also appeared in Cross Duel, mostly as NPCs and wielders of monarchs. Yeah, I remember this guy. The specky guy who was using one of the monarchs. 3DS game, Yu-Gi-Oh! Psycho Battle, new anime will come with new world. I mean, it'd be cool if we did. I don't think it's great to try and simultaneously release an anime and a world, because then one's spoiling the other in a weird way. I wouldn't say no to a good Yuo Goha skill. I think that would also be cool. I don't know if we're ever going to get another Yuo Goha skill, though. So it's a weird, like, situation that it finds itself in. Just because, like, you want a new skill to come with new cards, but we don't have that many new cards to give him. Like, he's just got, like, his bad cards left. Like, the fairy support, I think, is all we have left for him. Zex expansion would be dope. I think that's cool, but I don't think we would jump straight to Zexal. In fact, it's already a bit weird, right? Because we've just had a bunch of alt styles for 5Ds. When, logically, you could have just held off on those until they did a 5Ds world update. Because that seems like a slam dunk, right? We're going to do a 5Ds world update. Here's all your... whatever their team was called. I can't remember what because it's got a different name in Japanese to English, right? But, you know, their team... was it Team Handsome or something? I can't remember what it's called. But their team gets an update, right? And then you just do that as a world update. That could have been a slam dunk, but they chose not to do that, right? So, other interesting question, in my opinion. Would you think to be the next invitation campaign decks after Skystroker? I have literally no idea what that could be, to be perfectly honest. For Rush, Light Galaxy just makes sense. There's still lots of support to come out for it. I don't see a reason to change off of Light Galaxy in that deck. The cards in it are probably still going to be somewhat relevant going forward. In terms of speed, I literally no idea. Literally no idea. Give us the flashback forms of the Varians. I mean, that could be cool. There's like 2 characters missing. Oh yeah, give me Evil Jesse. I mean, Evil Jesse's probably going to come out, right? That's probably going to come out sometime. Okay, call me insane. What if the big update isn't a world, but rather letting us create our own custom characters? That, I think, is so far out of the realm of what is likely that if it did happen, it would be really, really cool, but also I don't think anyone would actually be able to call that, right? Do you really think Konami would make Chronicles World? I think it's a high possibility. I think it is low down on the chances. Never say never. They could absolutely do it. And it is a currently airing anime technically. I think, though, it just goes against the vibe of Duel Links. And I personally would quite like it. I think a Chronicles World would be really, really cool. I just don't know if it's super likely to happen. What if the big update isn't a world, but rather let's create our own characters? I remember Tomato, Shino Bird was a meme archetype. I mean, yeah, anything with a yellow button can be good. I mean, we know this. Vagabond World, imagine. Until that shit became tier. We got a new English translation a couple of days ago. Play it sometime. Calendar alt style is best alt style. Satisfaction, that's it. Team Satisfaction. No more 5Ds content, please. What about Albaz? Like a starter deck? All the archetypes that refer to him. The thing is, I think it makes more sense to keep... Now, you could do it. But I think... Like, do we need more branded stuff? Like, I am a branded enjoyer, right? I'm part of the problem. But do we need infinite branded content? I'm not sure we do, right? I think people have already gotten very sick of it in TCG, and people are already starting to get very sick of it in Duel Links. So, like, I don't know. Sword Soul or Springans. I don't expect that to happen. Just an idea brought up as an insane possibility. Cross Duel World. Could you imagine Cross Duel World? I mean, that would take me by surprise. I'll tell you that much. So that being said, bring Camula, give her yellow buttons. I can play my favorite archetype from 2019. I do think, though, they would probably... I think a character is more likely to come out, right? Not like they can only come out if this happens. I think it's more likely to come out if there is a new wave of support that they want to just throw in the game, right? So a good example of this, we could get like a Bones update in the future because they want to throw the new Pumpkin King of Ghost support in. And that means we could get just a new skill for Bones, right? I think it's not unlikely we get a zombie skill that Bones can use because there's a Pumpkin King of Ghost card that wants to come over. In the same way, there's the new, seems like a weird way to phrase this, the Labyrinth cards, right? The Gate Guardian stuff. We're probably going to get new skill for the Paradox Brothers at some point because they're going to release those cards, right? So it's like, I think it's more likely to happen if you have cards that are on the way, right? I don't expect any new world. I expect DM remaster stuff. I mean, I think it would be a massive missed opportunity to not announce something big. I think if it's just like, oh guys, we're just like, here's darts, and then that's it. That's your like, because every year, people look forward to Worlds. They look forward to the big announcement. They look forward to the big update. Now, it's very easy to just not do that, right? They could just not do an update. I think that would be a missed opportunity. And I think from a business perspective, they wouldn't just skip it. I think even if it doesn't need a lot of fanfare, I think they will put a lot of fanfare behind something. So what makes sense to me there, again, just drop like 4 GX characters or GX alt styles, call it a GX world update, spice up the GX like home screen or whatever, and call it a day. I think it's very low effort, and it will get a lot of people very happy and very excited for it. So, okay, that's completely impossible, given that... I mean, yeah, it's not going to happen, right? I give them spring ends. I mean, you could do. You absolutely could do. Please stop the branded. And then, like, blue eyes. I'm thinking of starter deck only as... so only reprints, because Albez's lore is now spread across so many boxes. I think, though, they like having it spread out like that. I mean, to be fair, they had that same issue with Sky Striker, and then they just gave everyone a Sky Striker deck. So maybe it's not too far off. And it is a fan favorite like Sky Striker. So probably will get one eventually. That would make sense. I just don't know when it's going to happen, right? Like, they might want to wait a little bit for it. We'll get John Konami World. Oh god, I've wanted nothing more. It's that and the Beach World. Those are the two in my mind. I'm like, if we could just get either John Konami World or Beach World, I could die a happy man. They could do a character for each world. I mean, they could. I don't know if that'd be very exciting though. It's a weird one. Season 0 World. I mean, I'd like that personally. I don't think it's ever going to work, right? Vampires are missing Sheridan Domination, Voivod, Frowlin, and Voivod Frowlin. That could be pretty cool. They could announce End of Service. That would also be a pretty hype world, to be fair. The End of Service world would go really hard, especially with the discounts we get. My improper prediction for the event. Last year, the announcement was 2 PowerPoint slides. It was, but it still got people excited, right? All you had to do was flash Darts' face, flash Noah's face, and everyone was like, oh, PogChamp, oh, it's coming, oh, it's characters I know, guys, are coming out. Huge update. And everyone was really excited. That's all it took. That's all it takes. He was released at the same time as Sky Striker Rose, by the way, and it would incentivize players to buy the next box with the remaining Alba support. I think the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. I mean, yeah, I think it could. I think it could. We get whatever the new world. We get whatever the new world is. Oh, I assume that's like meant to be like common there, right? We also get darts. Later that month, we get Don 1000. End for the card, then we go a structure deck for the Numeron Code deck. I think a Numeron Code structure deck would be awful. I don't want that. I do not want that in the game, personally. But, you know, I agree on the End of Service world. It would be really hype. I think it would be a really, really hype update until, like, it sets in, right? Where is Darts? They promised him. They better give his deck release of both OCG and Duel Links. I think you are going to be a little bit disappointed, if I'm being completely honest. I would not expect Darts to come out with his actual cards. I think you are more than likely going to get one gimmick skill that references Divine Serpent Gear, and then you're going to get a completely different archetype that has nothing to do with him slapped onto him, in the same way that all the other filler characters have had completely random stuff just slapped onto them. I believe he has my Singing Monster player. I'm only used to something being shown autis. I mean, there is a lot of stuff in that sentence I do not understand, King John. But, so yeah, those are my predictions, right? I think if we were to get a Rush update, it's going to be something centered around the Luke Man, the Yuga Man, right? That's what makes sense. If we were going to get a Go Rush specific, it would be a time skip, but I don't see them doing the time skip before we get Rovian and before we get the Luke. I just don't think that's going to happen. I think it'd be weird. I think it could happen. I don't think it's likely. So if, like, maybe we get some sort of Luke update, which would be cool. I'm not super confident in that. The other thing we could potentially get, I don't know if there's much precedent here, but when Duel Links first came out, right, there were 2 versions of DM, right? There was the manga, and there was the anime. Now, the game obviously has fully colorized images and has a bunch of anime stuff in it. But the actual characters and the versions of events we got were based on the Yu-Gi-Oh! DM manga. So there is a precedent for incorporating some manga stuff in. But moving on from that, every other time we got a world update, it was not a manga world, it was a anime world, right? But we could get GX manga characters. Like, I think this is like something that we could potentially have. Now, obviously, it would just be like the specific ones. Like, I think the big ones is going to be like Midori, it's going to be maybe like Seika, probably Ryuga. But we could get like these characters. And then like you could even just give like an alt style if you wanted to some of these characters, just to like have them look slightly different or whatever. But I don't think this is, like, super likely to happen. But I think getting something like Midori would be really good. Because I think Midori would just fit in Duel Links. And she plays Dark Lords. So you could just, like, give Dark Lords a bunch of cool skills. Which I think would be fun. But, like, I don't think this is, like, likely to happen. I think what's more likely is they're just going to throw in stuff from the anime. But, like, would this be Jaden 4 or 5? If it's an alt style, it doesn't count as a new Jaden. Just saying. Just saying. It's just a new change of clothes. Darts can get the Atlantean stuff, I guess. I mean, it could do. Want to make BES the deck they released same time between games and not Darts deck. Who even knows? Who even knows? But I don't know. I think I come from the point of view of someone who really liked the GX manga. So, like, this would be exciting for me. I don't know how exciting this would be for, like, the average person. But, like, some of these decks are also really weird. Like, if we look at Seiko. Seiko plays a snake deck, which is sort of like Viper's deck from the anime. Where we're playing, like, Swamp. We're playing, like, a bunch of snakes. Poisonous Viper is here, right? It's just kind of a snake deck, which is, like, something. Then there's Mr. Ryuga. He plays a dinosaur deck, and his ace is Cyber Dinosaur, which I think is really funny. Like, Cyber Dinosaur my ace, let's go. No more Dark Lords, I've had enough. No, we could get more. Or even someone like Jesse. Jesse Anderson. What deck do you guys think Jesse Anderson plays in the manga? Does anyone know what deck Jesse Anderson plays in the manga? I'll give you a spoiler alert. It is not Crystal Beasts. Jesse plays insects. See, he knows. Jesse plays an insect deck. He plays Butterfly Fairy, Lady Beetle, Needle Horny Bee, or Honey Bee, even not Horny Bee, Queen Butterfly Danaus, Rochi. Like, he just plays, like, a random insect deck, which is so funny. It's just, like, one of the most beloved characters. It's just, like, he's just playing bugs. Don't worry about it. Like, I don't know. I think a lot of these characters could just come out. I think it would be cool. Like, Koyo. I don't know if we could really do Koyo, because Koyo basically just plays Elemental Heroes. Like, it's basically just Jaden again, but it'd be cool to have someone else that plays heroes, I guess. But yeah, I think it's not impossible that we get some manga stuff for GX, right? It's not impossible. Actual filler world, but that's the funny thing, because technically the anime is filler, right? Because that's how it works. The manga is like the Bible, and the anime is the adaptation, right? Nothing wrong with being an insect main. I think you might be a little bit biased, B. I think you might be a smidge biased there. Jaden does not play E-Hero in manga, he plays Master Heroes. Well, he plays E-Heroes, he just plays the other E-Heroes. He plays like Flash, he plays Frostblade, Heat, Nops, Lady Heat, Ocean, Rose, Shadow Mist, Stratos, he plays Woodman, he plays like Terra Firma, he plays those ones. And then obviously he turns them into Master Heroes. Like, that's the other thing he does. Which is pretty cool. You know, it's a bit different. We could finally get Darklaw, guys. You guys excited for Darklaw? You guys want Darklaw in the game? I know you guys want Darklaw in the game. But I think that's pretty much everything, right, that we could potentially get. The other thing is Chronicles. We did already talk about this a little bit. I mean, what would you want from Chronicles? Like Ray and Rose? Like Ecclesia, Albaz, maybe like Shurag, and then like maybe Springand's Kit. The Charmers, you could just get the 4 Charmer girls, I guess. Magistus is probably one that has like a lot of staying power, because you got like the 4 different, like Alistair, you got Madame Veer or whatever, like all of those. No. After how much it's tearing up Duel Links China, no thanks. What do we mean by that, Brad? What's going on over at China that this is tearing it apart? No searching droplet on my watch. But you know they actually might give us GX2 since Sacred Beast just got their deck not that long ago. I mean, Sacred Beast got a big update in fact, we got a Sacred Beast update in Duel Links, right? Not that long ago. Oh, Darklaw ruled it. So I'm really bad at like keeping up with the chat. Hello, Manicus, by the way. Okay, that would make sense. Darklaw. Would Darklaw be really bad? Probably fine, right? It's probably fine. Don't worry about it. Just because Destiny Hero is Plasma Turbo and all Floodgates, it doesn't necessarily mean everything's gonna go to tits up. Wait, if Speed Duel becomes bad, then Konami has to make Rush Duel good. I mean, they kind of did that, right? Like, Speed Duel kind of, we got into the Stardust meta, and then everyone was like, let's go play Rush Duels. Rush Duels wasn't in, like, a fantastic spot at the time. And then they released Worms. And then they fixed Speed. And now Worms is just... it's just there. Being Worms. I want the new Toon support cards in Duel Links. But we've just got a Toon skill. in Duel Links, right? So, like, I feel like if they were going to give the Toon cards now, we would have got them with the skill. It feels a bit weird to, like, split that up, but... Gonna have to ban Mask Change. Was right, we have Mask Change 2! I hate current Rush meta, give us insects. When you say insects, though, I assume you just want... what's the deck called? What's the insect mummies called? It's on the tip of my tongue. Delirium. Delirium. You want Delirium. I'm going to assume you want Delirium. Mars Change 2 is the DGN one. Well, you got to pick one. Which one would you rather have banned? Thank you, Human. Delirium. Yes, yes, yes. But yeah, these are the things I think... realistically, right? We're getting a GX update, guys. I think we're just gonna have to accept that. If we don't get a GX update, that will be something to be excited about, right? But for now, I expect we're getting like some Shadow Riders. I'm expecting us to get, because even Icy went into some of the cards we could get, right? So like this is a card that we do not have yet, right? Evil Hero Neos Lord. I think this makes sense to come out. You know, Adrian Gecko coming out as a character. We haven't got his like Cloudian stuff yet or whatever. And he plays the Exodia stuff in the show. I think, you know, this is probably what we're going to get. But we can cope. And again, for the ritual decks, I don't know. Like Quantum said, if we're going to get rituals, it makes sense to throw one of the nostalgia bait ones. I probably think the best one would be BLS. Because BLS isn't like crazy strong, but it's good. Right? I think BLS has potential, especially if you actually give it a real skill to be good. I don't like the idea of them throwing Democ at us and giving them a, like, effectively a Gradius level skill. I think that's really boring. So if we did get rituals, I think I would be saying, give me BLS and give me, like, Hungry Burger or Zera the Mant or something. And then give it actual skills. Give us Spark Hearts for the one time. I mean, it's pretty far down the list. I don't know. When you get down to here, this is like the danger zone. There's going to be a maintenance, right? Can we expect any leaks or just on the transition for the Blue Gal event? So, Brad would be the best one to answer this question in terms of, and the question would be, is this a core update? My gut tells me this should be a core update. It's around the right time in the month. And we haven't had a big update since last month, right? So I think it's around the time that we should be getting a core update. So maybe we're going to get a big load of leaks in here. But I don't know. I am very much a novice when it comes to this. Maintenances aren't core updates. We are due one between the 21st and the 23rd. So we're getting a maintenance today. And then in the next 3 days, we'd be expecting an update. Wouldn't you usually just wrap those together, though? Isn't that really strange to separate them? Or is that just, like, normal? Because I don't know. Like, so I'm a novice. I talk about the card game. I'm not very good with, like, this sort of thing. This should just be adding the assets for the World's promo cards. That's a bit disappointing, to be honest. Especially, like, if we're planning to get a core update. Yeah, like you say, we're not necessarily planning to get one, but we're due one. So it's like, when are we getting that? Or maybe they've learnt their lesson and they're like, we're not going to push it onto the servers until we announce stuff at Worlds, because then people can't leak it. But either way, you know, there might be something small in there. You never know. We'll just hope, I guess. Never say never, as we say. If we get Spark Hearts, I will spend all money and full Chronicle. But never say never on Blue Gal stuff sneaking in, but they usually don't have stuff crossing over between core updates and mandatory. Okay, but that's deflated my expectations a little bit, which is a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. In terms of just getting new content, though, right? We are, like I say, in terms of compared to last year, we are missing a selection box. No, not that one. Wait, is that one? Where did we get a selection box last? This one. So we've missed a selection box. So we're already like X number of cards behind what we were last year. And we're missing a mini box at the moment. So, theoretically, if we were to follow the trend, we'd get a mini box in 5 days. Which, I mean, that could happen, but I think it's very unlikely to happen. What's probably more likely is we do get a mini box or a deck build soonish, I guess. But, like, who even knows when exactly. But, regardless of that, I think it's probably time that we take a look at the OCG releases, because I do want to take a look at some of these, because there are some brand new cards that have released over in the OCG for Rush Duels that we have not talked about yet. So, we'll start out with this one. Save the princess to save the world. Wise Salvation Rescue. So, this is a new trap card. When your opponent normal summons a monster or monsters, you can send one face-up water monster with 0 or 1500 defense from your field to the graveyard. Choose one face-up card on your opponent's field and destroy it. If you destroyed a fusion monster, with this effect, you can choose one imprisoned dragon princess in your graveyard special summon to your field face-up. For the rest of this turn, the monster special summoned by this effect cannot be destroyed by battle. So it's only a normal summon. We have to give up a monster with 0 attack or 1500 defense from our field. We can then pop any monster on our opponent's field and then special summon back. I think if we get the special summon, this is actually not awful. This has potential, I think. I think this actually does have potential. But I have 1k gems. Well, that's your problem, a human. Why have you not been farming the gems? I understand you don't want to, like, grind ranked or anything, but you could still just log in and, like, battle, right? You could do the event. I believe in you. So next up we have Burn the Midnight Oil with some Midnight Reading. So this is Snake Eyes, right? This is, what's her name from Snake Eye? This is Snake Eye... Is this Poplar? This is like a Snake Eye reference, right? When this first came out, people were talking about, oh, they're going to put Snake Eye in Rush. Do we actually think they're going to put Snake Eye cards in Rush? I don't know, man. I think this is just like a reference. I don't need new archetypes. What do you mean by that? Give me my support. What support do you want, J-Strong? Like, what are you waiting for, specifically? I think we're probably going to get a series of cards like this that just reference, like, Yu-Gi-Oh!, like, TCG archetypes, and then we're just going to have that, like, be a thing. But yeah, during the turn you have not activated Midnight Reading, send a spell card from your hand to the graveyard, draw 2 cards. So this already is pretty good. If you're playing a spell-heavy deck, this is just ship 7 treasures, right? Discard, draw 2. But then you can choose one face-up monster card in your spell and trap zone, special summon to your field with first stand defense position. So this is potentially quite good. There is a lot of situations where this can be useful, because you can ritual using face-down cards. Depending on the way you're fusing, you can sometimes fuse with face-down cards. So, like, there is some stuff you could do with this. This could be pretty good. Master Duel decks should stay in Master Duel. It depends what you mean by that, because we have a lot of imports already in Rush, and I think a lot of the imports are really cool. You could say XYZ is, like, too strong, but it's a cool deck to have in Rush, in my opinion. So next up, Red Eyes Mars Dragon. So what do you do? Level 6, stat line's kind of shit. While in hand or graveyard, this card's name is Red Eyes. That's not too surprising. Send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. Okay, milling's good. For the rest of this turn, this card's name is Red Eyes. If there is a legend normal monster in your graveyard, which is in Duel Links, that's not too bad to have. In TCG, that's sometimes easy, sometimes not, right? Then you can draw 1 card. So it's just a free draw if we have a Red Eyes in the graveyard. That's a nice little extra effect. After this effect is activated, you can only activate the Infernal Fire Blast twice until the end of the turn. So it's trying to stop FTKs and looping. This seems kind of mid. Unless you just really want to have another Red Eyes name. Which in Duel Links is quite nice. Because you have a skill that you need to reveal a Red Eyes from hand. So, like, that's not bad. In OCG, I don't know. I don't know if this particularly looks interesting, to be completely honest. I'm waiting on Lightwave Dragon and Lightwave Brand Dragon. Lightwave Dragon is probably fine. Yeah, I mean, Lightwave Dragon could probably just come out at this point. I don't really know why we haven't got it yet, to be perfectly honest, but... Flash Memory Fusion with Violet Scale. I don't think the Violet... Is it Violet Scale Dragon? Is that what it's called? You know, the one that just gets loads of attack. I don't know if that one is, like, particularly exciting. Alert, alert, a Fluffle deck has hit DLM. Okay, this is big news. Let's have a look. Because Icy has gone out of his way to bring it to our attention. We've got to have a look now. It's there. It's right there. By a player called Law. The issue is as well, when it's just a... when it's just getting to Cog, it's a little bit less exciting. My favourite Fluffle card. Dear Bellstar, the Black Witch. So what is the synergy here? You can special summon this card by sending one card from your hand or field to the graveyard. Alright, that's already pretty good because that means we can send Toy Vendor. That means we can send Edge Imp Chain to trigger their effects. Special summon Dear Bellstar once per turn this way. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can set one Sinful Spoils spell trap from your deck. Are we playing any of those? Yes, playing exactly this one and this one. So add Dear Bellstar monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. During the main phase, you can banish discover your graveyard, target one of your Sinful Spoils spell traps that's banished, or in your graveyard, except this one, place at the bottom of your deck, then draw one card. Target one face-up monster on the field, place it face-up in its own spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell. So it's just removal, I guess. During the opponent's turn, if this card is sent from the owner's hand or field to the graveyard, which we can do quite easily by using Toy Box if we need to trigger it, you can send one card from your hand or field to the graveyard if you do special summon this card. So we could activate Toy Vendor, discard Dear Bellstar effect, pop Toy Vendor, bring back Dear Bellstar, and then Toy Vendor search goes off. That seems pretty good. And what's this last one? Send one Dear Bellstar monster from your hand or face it field to the graveyard, then target one card on the field to get its effects. That's pretty good on me. When your opponent activates a card or effect in response to your Dear Bellstar's monster's effect or Sinful Spoil special trap, banish this card from your graveyard, they get the activation. That's also pretty good. I mean, there's definitely some stuff you could do with this. I didn't realize Dear Bellstar just comboed so well with Vendor, to be honest. Drew a Swarm, you can target one light or dark monster in either graveyard, banish it. If you do special summon this card from your hand, there's a quick effect, your opponent controls a monster. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one special summon monster your opponent controls and send it to the graveyard. And this one, this card special summoned, you can activate the effect during the end phase of this turn, add a dragon monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Well, I guess you just use Magnum up to get that. This is... It's not good, but really just a wall with Flash Memory Fusion. I mean, yeah. But yeah, Lightwave won't be game-breaking. We have shit like Action in the game right now. Yes. Well, Action is better than Lightwave, right? Lightwave's effect only works during the main phase. So it's literally there to combine with cards like Bluetooth. Lightwave not being in the game is the main reason I hated Action. I mean, they're fundamentally different cards. So, like, they just don't do the same thing. What does the turn one of this deck look like? Because, like, the issue this deck's always had, in Duel Links specifically, is you just don't have a turn one. Like, this is like Dweller Pass, like Dweller IP Pass, is that it? And then you hope you have a Scythe in hand? I guess it's not too hard to get a Scythe, because if you open any Edge Imp, you can use the skill to... I know, we're playing precious cards. I mean, obviously this was good enough to get to Cog, but I'm trying to, like, see the vision, right? Great question. Wish they shared replays. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. Let's check out Lore. Let's see what else Lore has done. He's done anything else. So we're playing Zale Weapon with Misk. I'm interested. I am interested in this. Now, obviously, this was quite old, but this is interesting. Block Dragons even in here. The old one copy of Fossil Dig from the Rex level up. But yeah, this is interesting. This is definitely interesting. Right, let's get back to where we were. I didn't like this card. Next up, Crystal Seer. So this is a flip effect monster from TCG that everyone should already know. Yeah, their effects are similar enough, except action does a lot more bullshit, but similar enough. It's they're very different. They're very different. If it's late season cog, it's most likely garbage and shouldn't be taken seriously. It's one of those things though where there's a difference between being a deck that can just like, it's good enough. It's not like, it's not going to win a tournament. It's not going to be played at Worlds, but like it's good enough, right? And I think for a lot of players, good enough is kind of what we're looking for, because like you don't want to have you don't want everyone to just be playing the like meta the entire time, otherwise everything becomes very stale, right? But hello Shui, welcome. So Crystal Seer, level 1 water spellcaster, 100/100. During your turn, this card was flipped face up, or if there is another face up water spellcaster monster. So the best way to use this is probably just have another water spellcaster and then use the effect, right? Excavate the top 2 cards of your deck and show them. Choose 1 card and add it to your hand. Place remaining cards at the bottom of your deck. You can activate the effect of Crystal Seer for the rest of the turn. So this card has one big pain in the ass thing, and that is it's level 1. Which means you can't even just like use this as ritual material. It's kind of tribute this or nothing. So I don't even think this card is bad, because there's a lot of like okay water spellcasters. The problem is, what do you do with it after you've used it? Not many decks are looking to tribute summon. Like some of them are, but not a ton of them, right? I mean, have you seen the Princess Adina lab list? I'll tell you what, let's go and have a look at the Princess Adina lab list. Just for Shui. We're going to take a peek. So what is it? Lab. Princess Adina's protection. The issue is, I have no idea how this deck works, so I don't know if I can be able to get much out of this. Set as much trap as you can. Use Mystical Elf and Labyrinth level 4 to Roach, for Roach or Dweller. Your most important cards, Lady Lab and Labyrinth set up. I assume you want to just set a bunch of traps, and then, like you said, you're either going to make like Dweller or Roach going first. That's your, like, your turn 1 play. And then, I don't know, maybe IP. I would actually have a reason to turn 1 Fuse if they gave us Light Wave, because then I could all up. I mean, that's fair. This can be ritualed off. Relinquish confirmed. I mean, I think we are going to get relinquished eventually. Like, realistically, it makes sense for us to get relinquished. Like, this could just work in Rush. Now, you'd have to change some of the wording on this, right? This couldn't be a 1-to-1. But most of this will just work if you just slot this into Rush, which I think would be cool. And then, like, Thousand Eyes Restrict is where it gets a bit more complicated. But we already have support cards for unions, right? We already have the precedent of having face-up monsters in the back row. So, like, I think it could work. I think it could work. But yeah, overall, I think this card has potential, and this card could get even better depending on what cards come out with it. But like, even right now, Justiciar is just like perfect to combo with this card. So like, I think this card has potential to do something. Then we get Powerful Machine Clockwork Walker. First things first, this art, I don't know, is this a cool artwork, or is this like a super lame artwork? I think it's somewhere in between. Because part of me is like, I like ninjas, but Go-Go is kind of a loser. And I like robots, but this is kind of a lame looking robot. So I'm like, this is based on the game. Yeah, this is based on his the Goemon like thing, video game. But I don't think it's still particularly cool. It's goofy, much like the actual series. Exactly. Hello, Gale fan, by the way. Welcome. Bro, what even is that? My favorite part is this is a level 8 Wind Warrior monster, but it's also a Union Effect monster. So you can tribute summon this card by tributing 1 Wind Warrior. So even though it's level 8, we're wanting to summon it for only 1 tribute. Choose a face-up Wind Warrior monster on your field. Equip this card to it as an equipped spell card with the following effect. You can then choose a spell trap card on your opponent's field and destroy it. So you tribute a monster to summon this. Then when you go to equip it, you pop an opponent's back row. And then the monster just gets 300 attack, and that's it. In a vacuum, this card seems kinda ass. maybe in the context of seeing all the other Go-Go cards, this will be better. But, like I say, in a vacuum, this is kind of shit. Next up, Reshef the Dark Being. And this is relevant because we just beat Reshef of Destruction. We just did that on stream. That was our Sunday game. We've now finished that. So we beat the crap out of this guy in that game. And now he's coming to Rush. So, Great Evil God Reshef, also known as Reshef the Dark Being. So during the main phase, this covers Ritual Summon. Send a spell card from your hand to the graveyard. Don't really like we have to send a card. Don't really like that it's a spell. Choose a face at level 8 or lower monster. I don't like that it's level 8 or lower, but I kind of get it. That it's not in maximum mode. Gain control of it to the end phase. For the rest of this turn, you cannot activate the effects of that monster. I don't know if this is actually going to be good. This feels like this has potential, right? You can yoink their guy, and then if they, let's say you grab a level 8 off them, which I don't know how often that's going to happen. You could like ritual it off because it's like a high level, or you could like tribute their monsters. The issue is, I'm pretty sure the ritual spell is once per turn. Yeah, during a turn you've not activated the final ritual of the ancients. So it's like you'd have to be playing it alongside another ritual. I'm not super enthused about this, if I'm being honest. Goemon's cards kind of make me want the color/dragon ninjas to come someday. One day. Also, you would have to have 2 spells in hand. I mean, yeah. Very annoying. So it's already bricky. Yeah, well, it doesn't have any support, right? It's just this. Like, there's no like search this card from the graveyard. There's no like recovery for it. It's just this, which is like, eh. All right, last card. Party on with Ultimate Demon's Dive. So, Ultimate Demon's Dive, normal trap card. When your opponent normal summons a level 4 or lower monster, shuffle 2 Light Fiend monsters from your graveyard into the deck. So only a normal summon, only on a low level monster, and we have to shuffle 2 Light Fiends from graveyard into the deck. So quite specific. Destroy that normal summon monster. This is already not bad. The question becomes, is it good enough? So, in some situations, this is just going to be really, really bad, and obviously your opponent can just set to get around this. I think that is going to be the biggest issue this is going to run into. But if this wasn't level 4 or lower, and you could hit your opponent's tribute summons with this, I actually think this wouldn't be that bad. Then you could choose one level 7 or higher Fiend monster in your graveyard and special summon to your field and face at defense position. I think, because you can play around this by just setting, I don't think this card is going to be that great. But if your opponent gets like greedy and tries to normal summon their low levels and activate their effects before they tribute them off, this has potential to do something, but I don't know. This is just kind of air. Shuffle Reshef or summon Reshef. I mean, you could. I don't know. This card is... I would probably test this card, but I wouldn't expect anything good to come out of this card. That's kind of where I'd be with this. And with that done, that is all of our cards done. So, I guess we'll talk about Worlds again, because we kind of glanced over this early. I am really excited for this year's Worlds. I think there is a lot of potential here. I think, realistically, I'm going to be rooting for Parko, Giorfio, Shelmy. For obvious reasons. They're the GOATs. We want them to win. They're our boys, right? 2 of these players I am in a team with. That's Parko and Giorfio. So I want them to win a little bit more. Sorry, Shelby, but that's just how I am. In terms of their performance, Parko didn't make top 4 2004. He did make top 4 2005. So there is a notable improvement from Parko. So If that trend continues and Parko just continues to improve, I think there is a pretty good chance that Parko at least makes finals, has a good chance to win the whole thing. Giorfio is quite consistent. Giorfio has a lot of experience under his belt, right? Giorfio has been to Worlds before for Speed. This is now going to be his third time going for Rush. You'd like to think that Giorfio isn't going to crack under pressure. That being said, Giorfio did have 2 time loss victories last year. So although I want my boy Giorfio to do well, I think he shouldn't be as nervous. He should have the experience where he's not going to let the nerves get to him as much. Those 2 timeout losses from last year do have me a little bit worried for Giorfio, but I do think Giorfio deserves it. I think he should have a good shot at it. And then Shelmy, again, Shelmy is probably feeling quite confident. Shelmy is already a world champion. So, like, I think Shelmy has a good shot here. Shelmy, again, shouldn't be too shaken up by this. Should be quite... I don't know if confidence is the right word, but shouldn't let nerves get to them, right? Going through everyone else, we already have a previous world championship. A previous world champion being Urahara-san. Not Urahara. Is it Urahara? No, there was... I've already forgotten the name. What's the name? It was... Something Sensei. I'm really bad with names. You might have noticed this watching. But yeah, he's already won once. So yeah, he's probably feeling quite okay about this. But I don't know how much he's been playing over the last year. We will have to wait and see. As for the rest of these players, we've already spoken a little bit about Yaku because Voltalon was talking about him earlier, but he has played competitively on the world stage a lot. He was... What did we say he was? He did really well in... the video game, the 2011 video game. He got 2nd place in speed. Back in, what year was this? 2023. So 2023, so the year before Rush came out, he got 2nd place in speed, which is also really, really big, right? So this player, again, very experienced. So we're expecting him to also do really, really well. Who else do we have in here? This is Moki Moki. Moki Moki, to a lot of the Rush community, is one of the better players. He has several gold icons under his belt. He went to Worlds in 2004, but he failed spectacularly during his Worlds 2004 run. He went into it, I think a lot of people thought he was going to be one of the favourites. He and his fellow Japanese player, which was Tomo, I believe. No, I think Tomo was last year. But no, it wasn't Tomo. I can't remember who it was in the first year. But neither of them made it past day 1. So both the Japanese players in 2004 or 2024 was a bit shaky. So hopefully we're going to see Moki Moki come back and do really well this time. Then who does that leave? That leaves this Japanese player who I believe Mono said his name was... What was it? It was Kuma or something? I can't remember what the Japanese characters were. But he is kind of an unknown. Don't really know much about him. And then Sen Greed. I've heard of the Sen name before. Because we got he's in the same team as Galv. But I don't know who Sen Greed is. So I don't know how good he is. I don't know how he's going to perform. But when we do get to predict who we think's going to win, it's tricky. I kind of feel like no matter what, I'm going to be voting for my boys, right? So I'm going to be voting Parko or Giorfio, I think either way. If I was to say who I actually think has a good chance of winning, it's really tricky. I think all of these players are really, really good. I'd be tempted to say Giorfio, because Giorfio, I think, has the experience and the know-how to be able to beat all of these players. But I still think all of these players are really, really good. Has a champion ever retained their title from the year after? Well, for Rush, we've only had 3. And it was Quantum, then it was Urahara-sama? Sensei? I can't remember this guy's name. I'm really feeling bad I can't remember his name. But this guy. And then this is the 3rd. So, no, not yet. Parko finally going to boss up and stop bricking. We're going to have to see if he actually can manage it. As for speed, I don't know. I'm not like massively big in the speed, like competitive scene. Like I know Paris. I know Paris is good, so I'm probably gonna vote Paris. I know Norrentino. Norrentino is also. I don't know. I don't actually know if I've ever seen Norrentino play, so I don't know. I don't know how good Norrentino is. Neg 1 or nothing? Is one of these players -1? Because I don't know what -1 name is if it's not written in English. I'll tell you that right now. Tadashi? Which one's Tadashi? Tadashi is... Am I just... Oh, up here. Oh, this is -1. Oh, I see, I see. I just assumed -1 because it's not called -1 anywhere here. Would have just been one of the Japanese names. But yeah, I'm excited to see who does win from speed. Again, I'm probably going to vote Paris. Then you get up to like TCG. I don't know, man. Like, who are like the famous TCG players these days? Like, does anyone know any of these guys? I don't know. I'm so out of the TCG like sphere that I just don't know who any of these people are. Like, I used to know all the players, but I think all of the big like TCG players have kind of moved on to Master Duel. Like all the people that were big before. Andres and Charlie. So you know Charlie Foot? Fooch? I'm gonna go with Fooch. Andres. Which one's Andres? Or Andre? Andre Torres from Colombia. I don't know either of these guys. I mean, if you say they're good, I mean, obviously they're going to World, so they must be good. But I don't know. Like, I have no experience with them. And then Master Duel. This is where you start getting the players that we know, right? Nesh is a content creator. People know this guy. Ryan Yu. Everyone knows Ryan Yu. Who else in here do I know? Pac, Jesse Cotton, and Team Sam. I mean, this is like the content creator team, right? Julian is well known. Isn't Julian the winner? Like, I think that most people should probably know the current reigning world champion, right? Do I know any of the rest of these guys? I don't think I know anyone else here. No, I don't know the rest of these. So, I mean, like, the content creator team, which I think is probably going to be the fan favorite, is probably going to be the Pac, Jesse Cotton, and TSX1, right? Jesse Cotton, also known as Jesse Cotton. Exactly. Okay, I'm late. Spoiler for World Finals script that Konami sent me. The World Finals will be Giorgio versus Parko, and Parko will win in the last game playing Dark Galaxy. Ooh. Ooh, that's some spice, Serena. That would be ideal for me. I would love to see Giorgio versus Parko in the finals, because that means both my boys made it all the way to finals. I would love to see that happen. I don't know how likely that's to happen, because that also means they have to avoid each other in the semi-finals, right? They also both have to make it to top 4, which they did both do last year, so there's a good chance of that. Like I said, I really hope they make it. But that's the other issue, is the World's format does have a decent amount of luck involved, because you have to choose your decks, right? And then you just have to kind of hope that the order of your decks kind of works out. You can try and, like, mind game it as much as you can, but no matter what, it still comes down to, like, did my worm deck beat their second best deck, right? And if you lose with worms because you get an unlucky hand, that's also going to feel really bad, because that should have been, like, your one guaranteed win, now gone, right? Well, it's never guaranteed, right? This is how it goes. But that should be your strongest potential of having a win. Being a loss is going to feel really bad. It could have happened last year. It absolutely could have happened last year. You're absolutely right. Parko and Gio will not avoid each other. This, tis the script. Parko will not break. I mean, I hope so. I do hope so. But yeah, part of me is like, I'm really looking forward to this because the format is interesting, right? Because there's going to be 5 different decks, it's not just going to be Worm Mirrors the entire way down. But you are going to be playing the game of, like, in my mind, the logic is going to be, try and work out when your opponent usually plays their Worm, and then try and put your worst deck into that deck, so that you're like, well, my other 4 decks now should theoretically have, like, strong matchups, right? That's how you're going to try and put your worst deck against your opponent's Worms, and then they're going to try and do the same to you. That's how I imagine it's going to go, but that might be, like, simplifying it a bit too much. Every time I watch Parkour at World, he bricks, so I will not watch. Well, that is very good of you, J Strong, to try to give your boy the leg up. Immediately send Worms game 1. I mean, you could. That was basically the Quantum strat. Quantum Cube's strat during the first year, if I remember correctly, was I'm just going to use my decks from best to worst, and then logically, I should have to use my worst deck the least because it will be in the least number of games, right? And that logic tracks. Like, that it makes sense. But yeah, overall, I'm really looking forward to this. We're going to see how things do end up going. That's kind of it for, like, the yappy bits, I think. I think we're kind of done with Yap, which is... it's wild. Sometimes the Yap just ends quickly. Sometimes it goes on for far too long. So... Are you going to watch it live? So the plan is to watch it live. The downside to it, I don't know if you were here earlier, is it is going to be at 1 AM for me when World starts. I am not very good at staying awake, so we will have to see how things go. Fingers crossed, I will be able to stay up at that time. Fingers crossed, I will be there. Because I want to watch them either way. I want to just watch the games. If I can be on someone else's stream while that's happening, that's even better, because I can have a lovely Yap session with them. I enjoy engaging with other members of the community. If I'm not on someone's stream, I'll probably just hang out in someone's chat and have a lovely Yap. That's going to be my plan. When World starts, it's going to be extremely early for me too. I mean, how bad is it for you? Because for me, it's 1 AM. I imagine for you, it'll probably be something like 6, 7 AM? Something like that, I would imagine, but I don't know. It's 1 AM from Saturday to Sunday or Sunday to Monday? That is a question. It starts on the 28th. So that'll be the... Mind you, I don't know what days it is. Because we have the schedule, right? So 9 AM JST is when it's going to start for the Rush and Speed. Then Master Duel starts a lot... No, it starts at the same time. So day 2 is just TCG. Isn't that kind of annoying? Like, I kind of get it. But it just means there's going to be like a day off in the middle. I think it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll watch them, but probably not all of them live. That's fair enough. 3 AM for me. 3 AM. Again, it's so early. It's so early. Do not say the meme. Do not say the meme. And likewise, I will not watch all of it due to European time zone. It's JST. Yeah, that's going to be super late for me. Yeah. But it looks... Again, we're not going to need to do anything on the Saturday, by the look of things. I mean, what is this? Use to capture data from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading Card Game matches by analyzing the deck with AI. Oh, God. Is this the AI... Like, where they get an AI to commentate it? Or some shit? Is that what this is? I don't know if I like that. Nah? Okay, okay. Let's see. What is this then? Because if this is it anyway, what is this? They're using Master Duel to display TCG matches. Oh! Wait, Do I like that, or do I not like that? It should make it more readable. So, that's probably a positive, I guess. Especially if it's done at the exact same time. Sunday is all finals? Yes. So we have semi-finals for TCG. That starts at 9. Also at 9, we have the Duel Archive. When does this start? At 1 JST, we have the Duel Links and Speed Duels and Master Duel and Trading Card Game. Wait, it's all at this... These have got to be back to back to back to back, right? There's no way they're going to do these all simultaneously. These have got to be back to back to back. So they'll do Speed, then they'll do Rush, and then I'll go to sleep. That's my plan, probably. Always busy Saturday nights. It really depends on air times, etc. Yeah. 2 days to practice before the final. It's going to be an interesting one. It's definitely going to be an interesting one. I am really looking forward to it. It feels like it's kind of creeping up on us because this isn't 8 days, guys. This starts in 8 days. That's a week away. Speed is first. Yeah, Speed is first, then Rush. I think it was the same last year, but I could be misremembering. I like Master Duel. I like the trading card game in terms of, like, I support it. I have no idea what the metas look like in either of those right now. I have a vibe for how Speed is right now. And obviously I know exactly how Rush is right now. But I got no idea about these. Speed first, they can transition into the Rush Ritual update. Last year was Rush, then Speed. Oh, okay. And I suppose we got the big Speed announcement. Ooh, guys, more evidence for Rush update. Believe. Branded is good is all I know. I mean, it's not too difficult to, like, you know, go and take a look at the Speed stuff, right? We have tier list update. You know, spoiler alert, these decks are good. The intricacies is like matchups, right? It's like, what does the Infernity end board look like, right? How does Infernity do against Branded? It's that sort of thing. That's the more in-depth stuff that I don't know, right? I meant in Master Duel. Ah, right. Well, Master Duel is the same, right? I mean, wait a minute. Yeah. Master Duel meta. Bam, we're here. We've made it. Tier list. Right, Branded. Cool Tune, Draco Tail, Radiant Typhoon Engine. What does that mean? I get Radiant Typhoon is an engine, but like, oh, it's literally just like grouped them together. So it's combined with Zodiac, I guess, which is there. Malice, I've never even heard of Elf Note. I've literally never heard of Elf Note. I don't know what this is, which is rare. Usually I hear of the cards, and then I don't know how good they are. I've literally never heard the word Elf Note before. That is wild to me. Draco Tail, everyone knows that. Magistus, Fairy Tail. Lunar Light, Sky Striker. Wait, so is there a reason that we're not seeing Shui and Serena playing this? Look, I'm seeing Lunar Light, I'm seeing Magistus. Like, come on, guys. Elf Note is broken Medius archetype. 2026 Worlds is the Branded World lol. They're announcing Branded coming to Rush, surely. Branded World would be so funny. That would actually be so funny. A Radiant Typhoon would be a really cool speed deck. Maybe. Like, it's just like, it's Mystical Space Typhoon, the deck, right? Like, I don't know a ton about it outside of its MST, and you have cards that recycle MST, there's cards that do stuff when you MST, there's a card that turns MST into a negate, right? They can hand loop you for 3 on top of building Unbreakable board. Isn't it still like you have to go first or you lose the deck? All I know is Elf Note is a negate slot. Well, that sounds like most decks. Should we hit Master 1? Oh, nice. I haven't opened Master Duel to play in a while. I would rather play Duel Links right now. I think that's fair enough. I just think it's really funny to see Lunar Light doing well. I assume it's because they have the new cards from the new Legendary deck or whatever. But, I don't know. I'm not a big Lunar Light player, so. And Sky Striker will never die, guys. It will never die. Sky Striker is always on the tier list. You can never get rid of it. Elf Note can go second fairly well. It's why it's better than Toon in OCG. Ah, I see, I see. Master Duel format is really whack. Well, apparently it's just branded. So it's branded, and then if we go over to speed, it's branded. And then if we go over to rush... Well, that's not actually helpful, is it? I want to go to the tier list, I suppose. This is the best we're going to get. It's Worms. So it's almost branded. Like, when you think about it, isn't Worms just the rush version of branded? Ray is immortal, feels okay, man. Like, Master Duel is not fun right now. That's a shame. Oh, so Elf Note is just their Infernity? Yeah, that's what I... Because when Serena first said it, I was thinking, oh, are they replying to what I was saying about Infernity earlier? It was like, oh, no, we are actually talking about a different deck. Look what's tier 1. I mean, it's branded. But, you know, you could also be like, what's tier 1 in speed? Oh, it's also branded, right? Is TCG branded too? Let's go and take a look. Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta. Tier lists. This is a weird tier list, but I'm going to assume it's just like these down. So Cool Toon, Elf Note, Chaos Ritual. And then God knows what the rest of this is. They're like OCG. It's Elf Note, Cool Toon, Toon. This is awful. Why? I don't like that there is a deck called Cool Tune and a deck called Toon at the same time. You are just going to confuse people. Branded like tier 3 in TCG. Branded is so unfun to play against if you're not playing Branded or Branded Dracotel. Branded is bad in TCG because it's hit to high hell. Where is it? It's even here. It's still like not all the way down. There are still 11 decks on here. Like, even with all the hits, it's still like not awful. Like, when did it last do well? So this was August 15th. It got a top 32 in a YCS. July, so like about a month ago, top 16, top 64. This is also August, but this is a Genesis event, so that's not really indicative of anything. What is this? What is this icon? No, that's not helpful. I don't know what this icon is. Oh, it's a WCQ. So I got 3rd/4th place in August in a WCQ. That's still like kind of crazy, right? I think branded haters just don't like playing Yu-Gi-Oh! What does that mean? People that like don't like playing against this deck, you just think they don't like playing Yu-Gi-Oh! It's one of those, like, I kind of get it, right? Because branded has existed for so long. I think at a certain point, you just want to play against something new. And when people just keep bringing branded, it's going to grate on you. On top of that, also the deck has evolved into using some like floodgates, right? Like the Puppet Lock branded version was around for a long time. And I think people just did not like that. Because who wants to get Puppet Locked, right? So it's like, I get what you're saying. But I understand the complaints as well. I am curious about Chaos Ritual as well. This is the new stuff, right? With the new Magician of Dark Chaos, Black Chaos. And Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Light and Darkness. I've always been a sucker for ritual decks. Which is why I'm curious to pick up, what's the Reptile Ritual deck called? The one that I actually own. It's in a box over there somewhere. 3 graveyard effects that replenishes your resources at the end phase after you've made your board. Mitsurugi. It's a good thing Brad knows these things. Without Brad, I don't know what I would do, man. I'm slowly losing it. I forget names of everything all the time. Mitsu. A deck that forces a grind game isn't bullshit. By that logic, like... It's a tricky one. Because... forcing grind games... in a lot of ways, is sort of like playing stun. It's not, right? Playing stun is obviously very clearly its own thing. But a lot of combo decks, which is the majority of just decks, do combo, win or lose, right? So when a deck can like overcome that and then force the grind game, a lot of decks that just means they lose. Now, some decks have obviously really good grind game, but a lot of decks don't, and you can really like feel that in some of the matchups, right? So a lot of people just don't want to deal with having to play a grind game. Because effectively, you're slowing the pace of the game down deliberately. But that's sort of what Yu-Gi-Oh! Is anyway. Like, if you get to do everything unimpeded, you're probably just going to win, right? If no one has interruption for you, if they don't have hand traps, if they don't have floodgates, if they don't have just forms of interaction to stop you from doing things, you are just going to do your board and probably just win the game, right? I don't like the fact that there is 10 decks that are completely forced to just be branded one of supports instead of actual decks. I guess, but that's kind of how they've built that lore up, right? Their board is too good to have all this damn follow-up. And now I think of it, it would be a weird joke for all the ritual speed enjoyers complaining at Konami for months there's been nothing ritual-related for so long to release Rush rituals for them. I'm in a weird place. I like rituals, right? In terms of in Rush, specifically, we are in an ad break, so I will yap once the ads are gone. That is the current plan. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the edges are gone. So welcome back, everyone that did get hit with the edges. I like Rush rituals. I really do. I really like them. Some of my favorite decks in Rush duels of all time are ritual decks. In fact, we'll go back. Let's get the list up. We made this list. We might as well use this list. I think Zero the Man is a cool deck. It has a big fat issue, and that is that you kind of need the spell card to be able to beat over 3 guys, which is not ideal. But the idea of the deck and a lot of the support cards it has are really, really cool. Grace Princess, really cool deck. I really like a lot of the pieces of this deck. The problem is the boss monsters don't play well together. So it's so close. It's so close to being good, but it's just not. Moonforce, this deck is all over the place. It is playing Moonforce is like, what's the best way to like describe this? What's like a good analogy? It's like I have to like build a 10,000 piece puzzle only for that puzzle to get like destroyed at the end of the day anyway. So it's like, why did I even bother? It's a deck that requires so many moving pieces and you requires so much thought to make sure you don't make any mistakes to get like no payoff. And it's just unfortunately kind of mid because of that. And I don't really like it that much, but I like the aesthetic, I like the idea of it. Fortress Well, never played it. It looks cool, people tell me it's fun. Blaze Fiend, really fun deck. Really fun deck. Blaze Fiend is one of my favourite decks. It's just bricky as all hell. Apart from the fact you can brick really hard with this, really, really fun. BLS, again, a lot of potential, kind of squandered, not great. Legend, fun, not really a ritual deck. This is a good example of a deck that it feels like they looked at it and they went, let's just slap a ritual in there. And they can just exist. And it's like, the ritual's good. Like, it's not a bad card. And the deck's not bad. But it doesn't feel like a ritual deck. Bean Mirror. Very simplistic, but very fun. Again, kind of a lot of hoops to jump through. But kind of worth it. Monuments is a weird deck, bro. This is just a strange one. I don't know. I like Monuments because I like Beast Warriors. I don't really like the ritual monster dude that much. It's kind of like, it feels a bit like Moonforce in that there's a lot of hoops to jump through, but the Monuments like end board slash like the payoff for like doing all of these hoops is actually quite good. It's just it can get shut down very easily, so it's like Mad Fiend is cool. I don't like the lock stuff. They have a card that like you want to summon to your opponent's field, and then it makes them unable to like play the game. I don't really like that side of it, but the rest of it's really cool, and I love the aesthetic of them. Warline is great. I think Warline is really fun. It's very simplistic. It's very Unga Bunga, but it's really cool Unga Bunga. Plasmatic Model is cool. I like everything about this archetype. In fact, my only real big criticism about Plasmatic Model is I think I can't remember what the card's called, but it's a level 4. And when you summon it, if you haven't drawn a card this turn, I think you draw a card and then you increase its level by 4. I don't like that card because it's too generic. You can play that in any ritual pile, and I don't like that. Other than that, I think it's really good. Demot, really fun deck. I really like it. Maybe a little bit too much over-reliance on the level 9 cards. But other than that, it's really cool. Spark Cart's amazing. Love this deck. It's really, really fun. Necromaid and Defiant Soul. These kind of go together because this is kind of the same deck. I like the idea behind them. I don't like how strong they are. I think they're a bit too good, personally. But that's just me. That's how I feel about the rituals. So like, I like a lot of these decks. I would like to see a lot of these come in. I don't know if I want them to come into Duel Links, because I feel like at that point, in my mind, I'm now like, I will just want to play these decks, and I won't want to play anything else. As well as, by having these not in the game yet, it still gives us something to look forward to. So I really don't know how I feel about rituals coming out. I think if it did come out, I would be excited. I would be like, it would be an exciting announcement. But I feel like I would kind of rather they come out a bit later still. That's how I feel about it. Right now, I like the fact that if I play OCG and if I play Rush on Duel Links, I'm having two different experiences. I don't like the idea of just like having my one deck be the same across both games. I think that takes a lot of the fun out of it, personally. Towers that are a great target for Albaz. I actually like Zera being designed because it needs tons of resources to establish rituals. It's like the boss, as it should be. The problem is, Desmume, the problem there is, if it requires too many resources to make, it just becomes bad. So, I get what you're saying. Like, design-wise, it feels correct. But when it's put into an environment where nothing else is designed like that, and everything else gets to kind of have their cake and eat it too, and Zera the Man gets to pick one of the two, it's like, it doesn't feel fantastic for me personally. I became a big Mirror Fiend fan after being a Ritual hater. I mean, Feeber is a cool deck. It's very, like, simplistic. Like, in terms of the Ritual decks here, it's one of, like, the easier ones. But it's a cool deck, and you can do a lot of really fun stuff with it. I will burn all of my Chronicles on PM if it comes Prage. I mean, it'd be cool if it does, right? Zera players aren't particularly expensive, really. So, my experience of playing Zera, right? Bearing in mind, I will preface this. I have not used the what was it? There was the Archlord Zerato stuff and the other guy. What was it? Zera Deville, whatever it's called. The two new guys. I haven't used either of those. I have not played those ones. My issue with Zera is I would play it and then you'd summon out the other Zera, like the one that isn't vanilla. He'd bring back the vanilla, and you'd be like, I can make a big board, and that's kind of it. That was kind of the limit of the play, and then it felt like a lot of the power behind the deck was tied to the spell card, which is if you have a Zera the Man, you can like pop a card on the field. And that card's really good, and I really like that card. But it felt like if ever I didn't have that card, I was really struggling to do anything. Like, I can make a big board, and then hope my board doesn't get broken, and that was kind of it. So obviously there's going to be like better ways to play the deck. I haven't played it since I got the new support, but when I played it on release, it did feel lackluster to me. But again, I have limited expertise with it. Like, realistically, OCG, I'm not playing a ton of these decks, like, right now. I have a decent amount of experience with Warlion. I have a decent amount of experience with Spark Hearts and Demok. A decent amount of experience with Blaze Fiend. And Grace Princess, I guess. I have, like, some experience with Hungry, some experience with Zera, some with Moonforce, some with BLS, some with Legend. Like, I've got, like, some experience with some of these decks, but, like, not, like, a ton. But, yeah, like I said, in terms of cards coming to, or the matchups for Worlds, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to, like, I don't know if I really want to try learning TCG and Master Duel, just so that I can kind of understand what's going on in the finals for these games. Because realistically, the only thing I'm really going to care about for Master Duel is going to be, like other boys playing, right? If Team Supreme Pro, if Park, Jesse Cotton, and TSX1 are like, they make it to finals, that'll be kind of hype, right? That's about it. Outside of that, I don't know. I don't know any of the TCG guys, and I don't really follow the TCG meta, so I don't really know what's going on over there. But unfortunately, there's gonna be nothing exciting for me there. But it is interesting nonetheless to like keep up to date with this. It's like I like Master Duel. I would like to go back and play Master Duel, but like it's very daunting. When right now, I'm considering getting back into Speed, and that was already, do I... Because I should preface, I really, really like Speed. I really like playing Speed. Every time I go back to play Speed, it's really, really fun. The issue I have with Speed is you have to relearn everything after taking a break. So I'll play Speed for a bit, then I'll drop it for, 3 to 6 months, and then I'll come back, and everything I knew is now pointless. Because it's like all the decks I used to play against aren't meta relevant anymore. So now I've got to learn all these new decks. And that's not the end of the world, right? Learning, like playing against these decks is like, it's fine. You'll pick them up eventually. But it's a lot easier to play against the timer when you already know what everything does and you know where to interrupt everything. Like right now, I wouldn't know where to hit Branded. If Branded's like mid-combo, I wouldn't know like where to like hit them with a UCT or what to negate or how to interact with them in a meaningful way. And then obviously there's going to be cards like this that just piss me off as well. I hate Lava Golem. I hate Sphere Mode. I don't know how prevalent those cards are in the meta right now. I mean, if we go up here, we should just immediately be able to see, right? So already, the fact they're not already being spammed up here. So there we go. Lava Golem is still on the first page, which is not great for me. But I assume it's not, like, crazy high up in playability, since it's not absolutely everywhere on these. It's like Stakeout as well. I don't know if this plays anything like that. But, with that all said, I think this is probably a good time to wrap things up. I'll see if there's anyone to raid. We'll see if anyone is about. What is going on over there? There is something happening. What is going on? There is a... there is someone in the Yu-Gi-Oh! The Duel Links... What's the word? Why have I already forgot what the word is? The Duel Links category. There is a spoon with Yugi's hair playing, I think, Valorant? I'm very confused. Val plays Lava usually. Lava is bad in Val. I don't know why people play it. But apparently people just keep playing it. It doesn't look like there's anyone really to raid into, unfortunately. I'll have another quick peek. Just make sure there's no one. I mean, How's streaming. We could go and raid How. We haven't raided How in a while. Bump Peanut from Tibu. Exactly. Go. I haven't checked up with How in a while, so we'll go and say hello to How. That's a good fun. Are you planning to get the Naruto TCG? Yes, I will be getting the Naruto TCG when it first comes out. We will see how that actually is, because I haven't played it. I don't know. I think it's coming out in like July next year, so it's still like so far away. It's going to be ages and ages and ages before we actually manage to get there, but it is what it is. But thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye!